All right. Good morning to you. Welcome into the Marc Cox Morning Show, where I'm sounding a little rough this morning. And
Who's that guy?
Would like to apologize for that in advance. I don't know what's going on. I'll be honest with you. I noticed a little congestion yesterday. Popped a couple Sudafed before I went to bed, and it released all of this stuff right down into my vocal cords.
Giving to us.
No, I'm not. I don't think I'm sick. I've just got a little drainage. That's all, Carl. Don't worry about it. I'll be all right. Hopefully, as the morning goes on, it works its way out. That frog will work its way out of my throat.
You love your Sudafed.
You have to. If you're on air, you have to love that stuff. Nasal spray just doesn't get the job done.
You know, that nasal spray stuff is very addicting.
It is addicting.
I think we've talked about that.
Big
Now
Pharma's
apparently
got
I have
you.
a frog. See, Mark, it's already happening.
Sorry. Let me apologize. But we'll get through this. I'll keep drinking tea and coffee and try to work it out as the morning goes on.
We have caramel-flavored coffee in the kitchen.
Really?
Yes.
You didn't tell me that,
You
Carl.
made this morning?
No, it's from Scooters.
Oh, that's old.
I know, but it still tastes good. I had some. I warmed it up.
I'm not weird about that. I'm that person who
wife
will
is. Old coffee.
No, I'll heat coffee back up. It's not as good, but I'll heat it up.
She says, I deserve better than
Well,
old coffee.
There are strange people who put their coffee over ice.
Oh,
so I guess
love
what's the
iced
difference?
coffee.
Yeah.
Really? Why
Kim,
don't you like iced coffee?
I just
You're gonna
don't
draw
like,
that line in the
this
sand
is never
today.
how
I did not
I
know
had
this.
coffee. If I'm drinking something and it's cold, it's probably a beer.
What
or
about
a
in the
soda.
middle of the 100 degrees? You still want a hot coffee?
No, I'll probably drink a soda.
Or tea. Now
I'll
you're
drink
okay with iced tea.
Yeah, I just not iced coffee. Sorry. The funniest thing in the world, we're in the middle of Montana a couple years ago on vacation. My son is with us. We're in this. I mean, everybody in this place was local. They all had their cowboy hats on and their big boots and their big belt buckles. And so we're in the middle of nowhere in Montana. And the waitress comes over to take our order. And my son looks at her and says, "Do you have iced coffee?" And she said, "What?" He said, "Do you have iced coffee?" And she said, "Son, if you want ice on your coffee, I'll bring you a cup of ice." She brought the pot of coffee and sat on the table and handed him a glass with ice in it. Like that was their version of it. And I'm all in on that. I'm sorry. That was funny. No matter, I don't care who you are. That was funny. All right. I tell you, Andrew Bailey continues to impress me. He is going to the mat over this abortion issue. He said there are rules in Missouri that were not overturned by whatever passed in Amendment 3, and I'll go to court to try to prove it. He's battling with Planned Parenthood. We'll talk about that this morning, and you know what his odds are of a victory in that. His argument is that it didn't overturn certain aspects of law that were already in place, including the viability law that was in place. Even though we had a ban on abortion, there's also a law that says there's a viability point at 20 weeks. So at the very least, we could
Cap it at that.
cap abortions at that point. So,
And you know what? You know how I feel about this. I know you and I are on the same page, but you know, I would support a federal ban on abortion, and I know probably not many people share that opinion. But I will take a 20-week ban over no restrictions at all in the state of Missouri. I'm going to call that a win, and I feel sad even saying that, but that would be a win at this point.
yeah, I hate to acknowledge that as well, but it's you got to take your victories where you can right now, because I don't know what the legislature is going to do. Maybe it spurs some action by the Missouri House or Senate this year. We're less than a month away from them being in session. So about a month away, I should say. It's about January 5th, I think. Did we say, Carl, or the 8th?
I think it is the 8th.
Okay.
Because
all right. So
the first is on a Wednesday.
Roughly a month. And between now and then, we'll get a few of these legislators on here and talk about, hundreds of bills have been pre-filed, many of them dealing with some of these issues. And also the one on bounties that got issued yesterday that's got the left all at Twitter in the state for sure. We'll get to all that and more for you coming up. First, let's get to our top stories, please.
The Marc Cox Short List.
In other words, are you willing to commit to the American ideal that no one is above the law?
Absolutely, yes. I commit.
Yeah, that was, of course, Biden back when in 2020 saying, yeah, I'm not going to pardon Donald Trump because I believe in upholding the law. Really?
You want to get angry? You read the Hallie Biden transcript, and that's Bo's widow.
Yes.
And essentially he turned her into a crack addict.
Wow. Chuck Todd going sideways on the Bidens and Hunter and the pardon. Surprisingly, the left is kind of turning on itself right now.
Are you in favor of Kash Patel's FBI director, Congressman?
Of course. Yeah, we need disruptors. We need somebody to go in the FBI, and I say that as a former federal prosecutor.
Thank you, Chip Roy there, in case you were wondering. Where have you heard that word before? Disruptor. I've told you all along, you don't get change in any of these agencies unless you have people who are going to be disruptors.
Someone here illegally is prohibited from voting in any election. It also keeps a person from receiving any permit or license to drive, receiving any public benefit, and becoming a legal resident.
Yeah, that's Channel 4 reporting on this new bill that has been submitted early, pre-filed prior to the legislative session by a Senator-elect David Gregory in Senate District 15. So tried several times yesterday to reach David Gregory. He's not returned any of my text messages. I kind of expect him not to talk to the Post, but I did kind of expect I might hear back from him yesterday, and I did not. So maybe he's out of town. He's not made any comment on this yet, but I think it's a fascinating concept. But play part of Cut 12 there for us, Carl, please.
This bill was just submitted, and it's sponsored by Sunset Hills-based David Gregory, a House rep elected to the state Senate just last month. Gregory wants to pay Missourians $1,000 if they turn someone in. We've pulled some sections of the state senator's bill. The first part reads that someone here illegally is prohibited from voting in any election. It also keeps a person from receiving any permit or license to drive, receiving any public benefit, and becoming a legal resident of the state. By the way, it's already illegal to vote if you're not a citizen. Now, the proposed bill also calls for the Department of Public Safety to develop this Missouri Illegal Alien Certified Bounty Hunter program. The program would certify Missouri residents to be bounty hunters to find and detain illegal immigrants in the state.
Is that Amilati?
Yes, it is.
I need to call him. Come on, David.
We should email him.
You got several things wrong there. First of all, about this bill, it wouldn't empower just anybody. Like you couldn't go out tomorrow and get a license if this passed to get $1,000 every time you caught an illegal. That's not what the bill says. What the bill said was anybody who is a registered bail bondsman, already licensed as a bail bondsman, could get $1,000 if they did that. Have you watched the Bounty Hunter, Dog the Bounty Hunter? Is that what it was called?
Yes.
That's the kind of people that they're targeting here, right? Who already go after criminals or people who are on the lam. This is not encouraging you to peek out your window at the guy across the street and call it in and hope you're going to get $1,000. That's not what the bill would do.
But so the Channel 4 article says the bill summary clearly states that any person who makes a report in which an illegal alien is arrested shall receive a award of $1,000. Just the emphasis, though, going back to the way he reported that story, David Amilati, is that how you say his name? Amilati. Uh-huh. We've seen how he's reported in the past, so it's very obvious to me where he stands politically. But the emphasis of the words, like when he was talking about, by the way, it's already illegal to vote. Like you can't vote. You can just tell that the way he said that was kind of like a little jab, of how stupid are these conservatives to try to say this.
It is illegal federally. It wasn't illegally in the state
until November.
Right. when we passed the amendment that will now make it illegal anywhere for somebody who's not here legally to vote. Even if Tashara Jones decided tomorrow she wanted to allow non-citizens to vote in St. Louis City elections, they could no longer do that like they can in some states. But the bigger issue is, do you know, for the longest time, and I believe up until the 90s, police officers could get a bounty from Customs and Border Patrol if they turned in an illegal alien. If they caught them when they were on patrol, realized they were a non-citizen and in the country illegally, and took them down to the ICE office and dropped them off, they could get a bounty of like $50.
I actually do remember you now telling me that.
And that was a thing until it became politically incorrect in some people's eyes, and the politicians ordered them to stop doing it. I mean, why would you not incentivize law enforcement officers to arrest people who are here illegally?
Were there
Why would
any,
you not?
aside from the politics of it, were there any issues with it? Like
Not
they
that I'm
never
aware
had
of.
any major,
No, my father-in-law told me that it was routine practice. For a longest time, it was only $25, and then they upped it to $50. So the idea of paying a bounty to find illegal criminal aliens in this country, and we're not just talking about your run-of-the-mill person who broke into the country for a better life, but somebody who's a criminal on the run and has committed crimes in the U.S. That's who they're going after. And I hate when they blow these things out of proportion. And I can't wait to get to David Gregory on the phone so we can actually let him explain a few more details about this. I'm sure he's perfectly capable of defending and explaining the details of all this when we get him. I'll let you know when we get him scheduled. All right, Karl, let's get to our national anthem, please.
So, Mark, I was told that you chose wrong yesterday, that you should not have chosen Idina Menzel, that you should have chosen Kristen Chenoweth.
Okay, hit it.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight on the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
Good morning to you. Well, we look fine on the roads this morning. If you are just headed out, I've been taking a little tour here with the Cordell and Cordell domestic litigation firm cameras, and we have light traffic. 70 looks good, 64, 44 all look good out west into the city. No delays for Illinois drivers. We really are off to a good start, and if something comes up, I'll let you know. This report brought to you by New Perspective Senior Living of Weldon Spring. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas, 520 and 97.1 FM Talk.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon for New Perspective Senior Living in Weldon Spring. This brand new facility offers state-of-the-art independent or assisted living and memory care, and now has holiday specials on select apartments. Visit npseniorliving.com or call today to schedule a free lunch to experience senior living redefined for yourself.
If you need to get any yard work done, the wintertime is a beautiful time to get your trees trimmed. The trees are dormant. If you're going to get limbs trimmed off, this is the time to do it. And you need to talk to my friends at Hanson's Tree Service. Hanson'sTree.com, 636-379-1830. You get a 10% winter discount if you schedule it now and let them come out and do the work between January and March of next year. You lock it in now. You get your free estimate. You secure your spot for their winter discount, and they're happy to delay that work and make sure you get that 10% discount. They can also come out and talk to you about other winter plant health care issues, dormant oil on there, which keeps insects from nesting in your trees, deep root fertilization. All these things are on the bill there at Hanson's Tree. They've done great work for me over the years. Tremendous is what they like to say. 636-379-1830 or hansonstree.com.
The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Hunter Hayden.
You said Punter Hayden was pardoned by President Bo Biden.
Yeah.
Bo Biden.
Actually, wait a second. That is a direct quote from Joe Biden.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
You've listened to 97.1 FM Talk. You've heard of Doug Voss of Voss Financial and Safe Money Radio, as he has been a staple as the financial expert on the station for many years. You can hear him on Safe Money Radio several times a weekend right here on 97.1 FM Talk. And you can talk to Doug Voss directly. Here's his number. Call Doug at 844-676-SAFE. That is 844-676-7233. Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through D.H. Hill Securities, LLLP. Member FINRA and SIPC.
The season of giving is upon us. To ensure every child can receive a gift this holiday season, Onderlaw is working with Toys for Tots to gather donations in the St. Louis community. All toys will be donated to the Bridgeton, Missouri Toys for Tots campaign. To participate in the toy drive, please bring new, unwrapped toys to the Onderlaw office at 110 East Lockwood Avenue, Webster Groves, between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. Ideas for donations include sports equipment, dolls, board games, toy cars and trains, stuffed animals, and books. The last day to donate is December 9th. Happy holidays.
Locked and loaded. The Marc Cox Morning Show.
All right, welcome back. As I continue to struggle with my voice a little bit this morning, I think as the morning wears on, it will get a little better. That's my experience with it. Let's hope so. In the meantime, I wanted to talk a little bit about this challenge to Planned Parenthood in the state. Now, you know, Planned Parenthood is petitioning to, of course, ramp right back up with murdering children because that's their primary business at Planned Parenthood. It's how they make most of their money at Planned Parenthood, as we've learned over the years. And there's an effort but to slow that down a little bit. So this was the article in the Post yesterday. Abortion rights activists are asking a judge to overturn Missouri's near total ban on the procedure less than a month after voters backed that abortion rights constitutional amendment. A Jackson County Circuit judge is scheduled to hear arguments from Planned Parenthood and from Andrew Bailey's office on whether or not to issue a temporary order blocking enforcement of Missouri's numerous abortion laws. And, of course, they want to get back to business as soon as they can. And Bailey is basically arguing you can't do that. He issued an opinion that most abortions will be legal when that amendment takes effect, but he's still fighting for a ban on most abortions after viability, along with a number of regulations that Planned Parenthood argues made it nearly impossible to offer abortions in the state even before abortion was almost completely banned in 2022. Because of exceptions, the Missouri constitutional amendment allows lawmakers to restrict abortion after viability with exceptions to protect the life or physical and mental health of the pregnant person. The term viability is designed in this law, defined as the 21st week of pregnancy. So there is still hope here that we're going to have some common sense approach on this. Listen to what Brian Westbrook said. He's with Coalition Life. We've had him on the show many times.
We demand that women's health and safety not be compromised. We have seen how Planned Parenthood has demonstrated an utter disregard for the very lives it claims to value.
Yep, that was him yesterday talking outside of that courthouse, and we're hopeful that Bailey has success here. He wants to include a 72-hour waiting period. He wants to ban abortion based on race, sex, or a possible Down syndrome diagnosis. and the requirement that medical facilities that provide abortions be licensed as ambulatory surgical centers. Remember what an issue this was? Because you would have women who would go in for an abortion, end up bleeding, and need to go to the hospital, but the abortion doctor wasn't required to be licensed at the local emergency room. So in other words, he couldn't follow his patient over there and explain what happened or participate in saving them. And under this new law that passed in the Constitution, it redefines what a medical professional is. You don't know if it's a doctor doing it. It's so many things about this are disturbing. Let's hope Andrew Bailey has some luck in this lawsuit when they hear this. It's not clear when that judge is expected to rule on the request for a preliminary injunction. All right, coming up, we'll get to Kim on a Whim right after this.
Catch anything you missed today by getting the show podcast at 971talk.com.
Clint Black in concert. Clint Black, an incredible night featuring some of his greatest hits. Saturday, April 12th, 7 p.m., the Family Arena. Clint Black in concert. Special guests Ruby Lee and Emily Ann Roberts. On sale Friday, 10 a.m. at the Carroll House Furniture Box Office located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster. Don't miss Clint Black.
It's time to raise a little hell. The Ozark Mountain Daredevils. Saturday, March 1st, the Family Arena. With special guests, Molly Hatchet and the Georgia Satellites. This is the farewell tour of the Ozark Mountain Daredevils.
And keep your hands to yourself.
Tickets on sale now at the Carroll House Furniture Box Office, located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster.
Make holiday magic this year with something beautiful and timeless from Diamonds Direct. A stunning eternity band, a pair of classic diamond stud earrings, something new and eye-catching from a world-class designer, or maybe you're looking for that perfect engagement ring or a fabulous timepiece. At Diamonds Direct, we have the perfect gifts for the season, starting at around $500. Come and let our experts help you pick out that headliner gift, or for some fabulous ideas, see the online seasonal gift guide now at diamondsdirect.com. You can even chat now with a virtual assistant for the ultimate convenience. Whether you connect online or in person, you're guaranteed to get the extraordinary value, ironclad warranties, and white glove service Diamonds Direct is known for. And to help make your purchase even more affordable, we've got special financing so you can spread out your payments. Get directions, details, special showroom hours, and our holiday gift guide now at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Lots of sunshine on this Wednesday, and the winds have turned to the south. Now, it's chilly out the door, but we are breezy and warmer this afternoon. Pretty close to 50 degrees. That will feel pretty good. Tonight, clear skies, windy and cold. The winds swing to the northwest, a cold front coming down. A couple of snow flurries, but that's about it, 19. Thursday, just plain cold, though lots of sunshine, 28. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
I'm Maria Bartiromo, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Today, we'll find out how many new jobs were created by private employers in November. Payroll processing company ADP reports its update on job creation. Jim LeCamp, Morgan Stanley's senior vice president of investment, says Wall Street's expectations are high, anticipating lower regulation and taxes from the incoming administration.
We're seeing consumer cyclicals, energy, banks, hotels, luxury goods. All of these things are indicative of bigger and higher animal spirits. And that's good for the markets, but at 23 times earnings, there's not a lot of room for error here.
Earnings are expected today from Campbell's, Dollar Tree, Five Below, Foot Locker, Hormel, American Eagle Outfitters, and others. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Cosola, invested in you.
Hi, I'm Ron Kraszewski, Chairman and CEO of Stifel. Financial advisors, let's face it, if you're not growing your practice, you're losing market share. Stifel is a growing, entrepreneurial, advisor-centric firm built for successful advisors like you. There's a reason why 148 financial advisors joined Stifel last year. Come join us and find out why Stifel is the firm where success meets success. Visit www.choosestifel.com.
Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
Good morning to you. We still look good on the roads. I mean, it's fine weather-wise, and we're quiet through North County. Eastbound 70 looks really good from out west into downtown. Eastbound 6440 does as well. There's a little bit of volume showing up. Southbound 55 between Lindbergh and 270. So be careful on that ramp. You know, it's that ramp that splits off and takes you either to 255 or to 270. It looks like there's a little bit of a delay through there. But northbound 55 is in great shape at this hour. And no delays for drivers headed in from Illinois. We look fine on the bridges downtown. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas. 532 at 97.1 FM Talk.
All right, now's the time to act if you want to let Grill Master Tony do the cooking this Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever you're ordering food for, because he's got it all. The pulled chicken, the pulled pork, the brisket, you name it, he can make it for you, and you don't have to worry about cooking. It's so easy. The sides are delicious. Your family's going to love it. You can pick it up, or Tony will deliver it for you, however you prefer. There are some deadline dates to get your orders in, so the earlier you order, the better, because that schedule is going to fill up as we get closer to the actual holidays, right? So make your holiday party a lot easier. Let Grill Master Tony do all the work, and then maybe show him a little appreciation as well for all he's done for our first responders locally. He's been cooking food for them all year long, including throughout the month of November, and we appreciate him for that. You can order online right now. Get your orders in early at grillmastertony.com.
The Marc Cox Morning Show wants to hear from you, and telling us what you think is easier than ever. Open the Odyssey app to 97.1 FM Talk. Click on the microphone and leave Mark and Kim a message. It's that easy to share your take.
If you're considering an annuity as part of your retirement plan, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel, and host of On the Money, Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Annuities can be a useful tool for some retirement investors, but not all annuities are created equal. Every week, we meet clients who own complex annuities that don't suit their needs and, in some cases, actively undermine their retirement plan. Before you purchase an annuity, get a second opinion from the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel. Requesting a consultation is free of charge. To request a free consultation, contact us at clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member NYSE and SIPC.
Greg Hammonds at greghammonds.com wants to remind you that if you pay for your own health insurance, open enrollment ends January 15th. If you are looking for coverage, do not go online looking for quotes. You'll get endless calls from call centers, and they will not stop. Instead, call Greg, an expert with over 40 years experience, and he can provide sound advice for your health insurance needs. Their plans, if you qualify, let you pick your doctors, and it's 30 to 60% lower cost than Obamacare. The monthly premiums are independent of your income, so there will be no surprise tax bills. If you pay for your own health insurance, own a small business, you're uninsured, you're on COBRA, or your employer coverage is just too expensive, call Greg at 314-794-7784. That's 314-794-7784. Or go to greghammonds.com. That's greghammonds.com. They will custom design a plan managed by you, not the government.
A man, a myth, America. The Marc Cox Morning Show. Kim on a whim.
Okay, well, Bitcoin's path to 100,000 is hitting a speed bump here, on track to snap a 4-week winning streak. But our next guest still sees the cryptocurrency climbing to the 250,000 mark. Yes, 250,000 by the end of next year, and to 500,000 by the end of 2027.
It's wild when you think about it, Bitcoin. So this came into play, I guess it was back in 2008, technically is when it was first invented, if you will. But it's really taken off recently. And it's getting to the point where I feel like it's going to be one of those things where you can ask someone like you, Marc Cox, hey, do you know people who use Bitcoin? And you might hear more people saying yes. My husband knows somebody who has at least invested in Bitcoin. Because I guess you can invest versus buying actual Bitcoin.
I don't even know how that works.
I don't understand how all that works.
I just don't understand where the money is. Where's the money?
Well, it's somewhere because more and more companies are starting to accept it. I looked into this, and I didn't realize how many well-known companies already do. Like, for example, Starbucks. Starbucks allows customers to use Bitcoin to reload their Starbucks cards on the app. Did you realize that?
I didn't. So that must be shares of Bitcoin, right? Because if you owned one whole coin, it'd be worth $100,000.
So it's currently at
part of it.
It's currently at 96,000.
Yes.
Yeah. So just over 96,000 Bitcoins equals $1. But obviously that's changing. I mean, as I'm speaking right now, I'm seeing it fluctuate.
Equals one coin.
No. 96,000 US dollars equals one Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Is that not what I said? Did I get that backwards?
You said it equals $1.
It's a stupid system. There are only so many Bitcoins that are able to
exist, right?
Yes.
Okay.
No, that is what it is. 96,000 Bitcoins equals $1.
No, you had it right the second time.
It's $96,000 equals one Bitcoin right now. It would cost you almost $100,000 to buy a Bitcoin.
One Bitcoin. And you can't get it, which is why that they're now doing this secondary thing so that you can invest in the idea of the Bitcoin.
Well, Whole Foods also accepts Bitcoin, Shopify, Home Depot, AT&T, Microsoft, PayPal. I didn't know all these companies were doing this. Have I been living under a rock? Well, now Virgin Voyages, which is a cruise line, has been the first cruise line to accept Bitcoin. I mean, is this the future where we're going to start paying for airline tickets using Bitcoin? I think people were hesitant, understandably, to want to get involved with this cryptocurrency, because I think so many of us, despite how much I looked into this yesterday, my brain still hurts trying to process it.
The first Bitcoin sale was for a pizza.
Well, I mean, my guess is it's not unlike a mutual fund. I mean, you're basically buying. A bunch of people are buying into something that holds shares of different companies. In this case, it holds shares of Bitcoin, pieces of Bitcoin or coins, and you own a small portion of it. I don't know how they determine the value of that, though. It can't be greater than the value of the whole, so I'm still confused as to how it works. You know who will know the answer to this is Taylor Riggs.
We should ask her about this.
Yeah, we have her on today in the 8 o'clock hour
because
from Fox Business.
These companies that are accepting Bitcoin, I mean, I get the value in that because we've seen tremendous growth over the last number of years. So I see why they might want to accept it. But really, I feel like the only way that would be possible is if your business is cash rich, right? Because you're not desperate to hold on to that money. You're able to put it into Bitcoin and hope that it's going to continue to grow like we've seen. Like, for example, you can Google the number of Bitcoin transactions per day. And just yesterday, there were 523,480 transactions using Bitcoin yesterday. That's a 45% increase from 1 year ago. Wow. That's pretty substantial. But this is such a volatile. It fluctuates so much in just a matter of days. I mean, it could increase 20% and then go down and go up. And so I think that's really what is surprising to me about a lot of these companies that are taking a risk and are willing to accept Bitcoin.
It's people who are ahead of the curve, people who have a different mindset, right? Like if I saw a thing one time where somebody said, if you could go back in time and tell your younger self 3 words, what would they be, right? And to me, I'm thinking I'd go back to like 1985 and tell myself, take $1,000 and buy Apple stock, right? Buy Apple stock. And if I could go back to 2008 when I was having that conversation with one of my friends at Channel 4 when Bitcoin first came out, and it was I remember it was $2,000 a coin. And I thought to myself, that's stupid. My wife would kill me if I paid $2,000 for something that exists in the Ethernet and you can't see it and you can't lay your hands on it. And now that $2,000 would be worth $96,000.
I guess, well, I wish I had invested in that way too.
Yes.
I think about like gold, for example. A lot of people invest in gold, but to me, that's something tangible. Like, let's say that the world crashed and, because now there's so many concerns we have with hackers getting into our systems and I don't know, you don't know what could happen. So let's just say things go crazy. If I had buried gold in my backyard, I could dig that gold up and use it to trade and, receive food or whatever other things I needed, right? But cryptocurrency's just out there. Wouldn't that be easily more or less destroyed, if you will, if things started going, like, it just wreaked havoc? Am I making sense here? Like,
No.
I feel like I would want something tangible to be able to know that if things went crazy, that I have something to actually trade that has value. It's accepted as value. And as more stores and businesses start to accept cryptocurrency, Bitcoin in this case, maybe that will be a thing in the future, but right now it's not. And so I think that's what
I've heard people
hesitant.
make that same argument for the gold standard, which we went away from many, many years ago. So your dollar's no longer based on gold. It's just based on how many dollars the U.S. decides to print.
Which we have seen dramatically change over the last number of years, and how easily they were printing it off.
Yes.
People did not seem concerned about that, and I don't know why.
Well, it's another cautionary tale about this global digital currency that some people are interested in us moving toward. I don't even know where Donald Trump stands on it. I don't think he's dramatically opposed to the idea. But if your bank account is tied to, you're paid digitally instead of in dollars into your bank account, what the government gives, the government can take away. I just don't think that's a good system.
Right.
I need to be able to go to the bank and take money out when I need money. I don't keep it in a jar in my basement, but people might go back to that if they faced a system like that.
And I know the feds tried to regulate this, but it seems like there's still, I don't know. I have a lot of questions about this, and I'm just curious to see where this goes. There was some financial guy, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't finish watching the video, but he talked about how he thinks it's going to basically hit 200,000. Again, it's around 96 right now, and then basically crash. And I don't know. That was where I stopped. I was going to bed last night. I stopped the video. I didn't go on. It was like a hour-long video explaining why. But some analysts are saying they think it's going to continue rising and then crash. Okay, well, things can crash and then go back up. But that would be interesting because a lot of these businesses like Home Depot or Starbucks that are accepting this as a form of payment, well, what does that mean for them?
Well, my guess is they take it and they hedge their bets as well, right? Maybe they.
Well, I think they'd have to just
immediately
to protect
turn it into
themselves.
cash so they can, because they have to pay for the goods and services. They have to be
it can
churning it.
Yeah, but so I would think that, except that I would think they'd have to invest it somewhere else, because if you're just cash, I mean, it could change. Like, by the time someone pays you, if you're not immediately turning that into cash, you could have a major drop in value by the time you try to turn it into cash.
Yes.
Right? So you're losing a ton of money. So I think that's what's it's so volatile.
Yep, I agree. I don't know if it. I don't know. But we clearly need to look into it. I saw an ATM the other day, like a machine in a gas station where you could buy Bitcoin. You could buy crypto, I should say, which is not exactly the same thing, but similar concept, just different name.
Seriously, my brain hurts.
It hurts
trying
my brain.
to understand
I agree.
all of this.
I agree. But there are people smarter than us that are buying it. So we'll kick that around with Taylor Riggs from Fox Business when she joins us at about 8:35 this morning. We'll be back in just a minute.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
Good morning to you. We look fine on the roads. I've been taking a tour with the Cordell & Cordell domestic litigation firm cameras, and we really are in good shape. Quiet through North County, looking good. Eastbound 70, 64, 40, 44 from out west into downtown. Yep, we look good there. But I do want to mention this today, starting at 7 o'clock this morning on eastbound 5564 on the Poplar Street Bridge, especially in the East St. Louis area. They're going to close 3 center lanes, and this will be eastbound again, 7 a.m. until 3 p.m. They've got to repair the center attenuator. So if you are headed into Illinois between 7 o'clock this morning and 3 this afternoon, there could be a delay. I mean, 3 center lanes is a lot to close. You got to do what you got to do, but at least we're giving you a heads up. Right now, though, things look fine on the bridges if you are headed in from the Illinois side. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas, 547 at 97.1 FM Talk.
Well, you certainly going to need your furnace the next couple of days. It's going to warm up a little bit today, but this is the phone number you need. Just go ahead and put it in your phone now, and that is 314-513-0091. 314-513-0091. Put it in there under furnace, under air conditioner, under HVAC, however it works best in your brain. And that way, when the furnace stops working, you know who to call, and that's Air Comfort Service, Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. They will give you a free second opinion. If you've had somebody over who's trying to tell you you have to have a new unit right now, they're happy to come over and give you a second opinion on that, and you're going to appreciate working with them. 55 years they've been around, right? They've got the Better Business Bureau Torch Award. They're a top 10 workplace in the St. Louis Post-Dispatch for the 3rd year in a row. They've got thousands of 5-star reviews. If you've got to get your air conditioner or your furnace worked on, this is the company you want doing it. I told you that before. Agers Heating and Air Conditioning became part of Air Comfort Service. You're getting that same great service you used to get with Agers. It's now Air Comfort Service. Again, 314-513-0091, aircomfortservice.com.
The Trump presidency is coming into focus. Keep it here for every twist and turn, because the updates are happening fast. 97.1 FM Talk. The vision and strategy for 2025 is here.
Count on Steel for Christmas cleanup made easy with the SEA 20 battery-powered handheld vacuum. Now just $99.99. Visit your local Steel dealer today or shop online at steelusa.com. Valid offer for a limited time, only at participating dealers while supplies last.
You've been listening to the very popular Wellness One for many years, Saturdays and Sundays on 97.1 FM Talk. We're happy to share that we've expanded the show to 4 times a week. Yes, 4 times every weekend. Saturday at 10 a.m., Saturday at 8 p.m., Sunday at 9 a.m., and Sunday at 2 p.m. It's the same great show designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you a common sense, science-based strategy for a healthy life. So join TJ and Aaron for Wellness One. Now 4 times a week on 97.1 FM Talk.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
Count on Steel for Christmas cleanup made easy with the SEA 20 battery-powered handheld vacuum. Now just $99.99. Visit your local Steel dealer today or shop online at steelusa.com. Valid offer for a limited time, only at participating dealers while supplies last.
Is your home ready for the holidays? Beat the holiday rush and call our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. Get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned starting at $129 and take $75 off your air duct cleaning. Book online anytime at ZeroResSTL.com.
Helping St. Louis wake up. The Marc Cox Morning Show.
We are talking with every senator that wants to talk to us. And the conversations we have with senators are, of course, going to remain private.
Yeah, Pete Hegseth there, if you couldn't make out the voice in the background. Not great audio, but basically, now people are chasing him around, asking him if he drinks on the job, if he's ever been drunk on the air, because some nameless, faceless backstabbers at Fox claimed in a New York Times article that they knew of, or CNN or somebody talked to these former staffers who claimed that he had been drunk on the air. And, of course, his co-anchors, Rachel Campos Duffy and the other guy's name's escaping me, whose show we air here on the radio station, on the weekends, his co-hosts have both flatly denied that. They said, I've worked with him for 8 years, and that's not true. Hegseth may be out, though. According to reports this morning, Donald Trump is considering replacing him with Ron DeSantis. Now, I haven't heard whether or not this is a job Ron DeSantis wants. I'd be a little bit suspicious as to whether or not he would step away from the governorship to take that job as defense secretary. The idea of being nominated as defense secretary has been presented to DeSantis in recent days, according to the outlet. The president-elect and the Florida governor were together Tuesday at the memorial service of slain police officers in Palm Beach County, Florida. And like Hegseth and Trump, DeSantis has been a vocal critic of woke Pentagon policies. What do you think, Ron DeSantis? I think he'd be a shoo-in for the job.
I don't know if I see that happening. I mean, I really like Ron DeSantis. I think he would probably want to do, assuming he's going to run in 2028, I'm guessing J.D. Vance would run. But if Ron DeSantis wants to go up against Vance, I'm thinking he'll do whatever he believes will put him in the best position to be the candidate. So I don't know if that would be defense secretary or if he'd be better off staying as governor. People have thrown out that Matt Gaetz would try to be governor of Florida. I think people there like Gaetz, but I don't know that he has enough of that likability factor to be the governor of Florida.
Who is the lieutenant governor of Florida right now? Let's Google that. I don't even know who it is.
I'm not sure.
Because whoever that
Jeanette Nunez.
Jeanette Nunez would become governor if he stepped down. She's the lieutenant governor currently, an American businesswoman.
He's termed out, right? Next.
Yeah, I don't think he can run again after this. So it's kind of old school thinking for people who want to rise to the level of president that it helps to have served in Congress. Certainly a lot of people who've been United States senators have been elected, and people who have been governors have been elected to the presidency. You have that administrative experience by doing that. And for many of them, it used to be another feather in their cap if they had served some role in a foreign policy role. And DeSantis has been in the military. Obviously, he served. I think he was in the Judge Advocate Corps. But I don't know how much direct foreign policy experience he's got. So something like this would certainly bolster his resume to run in a few years.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's a Vance DeSantis ticket. What do you think? I just don't know. I just haven't heard if he's interested in it or not.
I have a hard time believing that DeSantis would want to be VP to Vance. Maybe he'd take that over nothing. Or
maybe he'd try to primary him. Right? I mean, everybody will throw their hat in the ring. If there's
That's what I think. I think he'll run against Vance.
Yes, I think you're probably right.
I think with Trump out of the picture, then it opens up the door for DeSantis, who just didn't, he was kind of steamrolled over him. He just didn't stand a chance. He didn't come off the best in debates, but I'm assuming that 4 years of practice, he might be able to work on that.
Well, there are lots of suggestions this morning that Hegseth and Tulsi Gabbard are both considered less likely to be approved by the Senate. And what that means is that there are 5 or 6 Republicans that are part of the problem, and some of them are the ones you would expect. And then there's Lindsey Graham, who came out yesterday and questioned whether or not he might support Pete Hegseth. So Mitch McConnell is a wild card in all this because he doesn't like Trump. And I just don't know. I think it's a shame if that happens. But just so you know, that's what's out there this morning. That's what people are talking about. Coming up, we'll talk to Terry Schilling. The United States Supreme Court is going to take on the transgender issue today in court. He is with the American Principles Project. We're going to get him on here at about 6:20. Stay tuned.
It's the greatest pop rock of the 60s and 70s. The Happy Together Tour 2025 with the Turtles, Jay and the Americans, Little Anthony, Mark Lindsay, former lead singer of Paul Revere and the Raiders, the Vogues, and the Cowsills. August 21st, the Family Arena. Reserve seats on sale Friday, 10 a.m. at the Carroll House Furniture box office located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster.
Clint Black in concert. Clint Black, an incredible night featuring some of his greatest hits. Saturday, April 12th, 7 p.m., the Family Arena. Clint Black in concert. Special guests Ruby Lee and Emily Ann Roberts. On sale Friday, 10 a.m. at the Carroll House Furniture box office located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster. Don't miss Clint Black.
The election is finally over. Now you can get the cash you need. This is James Hawkins, president of Golden Oak Lending. Did you know that today the average homeowner has over $200,000 in equity? Imagine what you could do with just $50,000 of that equity. Pay off your credit cards, do home improvements, or even pay off your auto loan. Golden Oak's mortgage rate is 5.25%. We have no fee to apply and no out-of-pocket costs. If you call today, you can get your cash in as little as 14 days and make no payments until next year. Don't forget our appraisal guarantee. If for any reason your loan doesn't close, we will pay for your appraisal. Call today and take advantage of our 5.25 fixed rate. But don't wait, this rate won't last forever. Call 314-567-GOLD. That's 314-567-GOLD.
Golden Oak Lending cured my blues.
6.19 APR, FHA, 15-year, 20% equity qualified credit. Additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
Hey contractors, it's Andrea and Scott at Best Buy Flooring.
If you haven't been shopping with us, you owe it to your customers and yourself to check out Best Buy Flooring.
We can meet all flooring needs at the lowest prices in town. Check out our huge selection of carpet tiles, luxury vinyl plank, luxury vinyl tiles, sheet vinyl, ceramic, hardwood, and laminate.
Come see us at our 3 convenient locations, North County, South County, and O'Fallon, Illinois. Open 7 days a week, including at South County. Best flooring, best selection, Best Buy Flooring.
I'm Dr. Nick Barnes at Health From Within Family Chiropractic in Rock Hill. At Health From Within, our mission is to transform the way you manage your health by bringing you the truth about health and healing. We use proven techniques to remove interference in the nervous system and maximize health naturally, without drugs or surgery. Connect with me at healthfromwithinstl.com and join me for Maximize Living on this station every Sunday at 8 a.m. or download the Maximize Living podcast, healthfromwithinstl.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Another Trump nominee is out and yet another may follow. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The president-elect's pick to take over the Pentagon may not make it to the cabinet, like Matt Gaetz, who was replaced by Pam Bondi as Attorney General nominee. Fox's Peter Ducey reports.
Pete Hegseth is still President-elect Trump's pick to be the defense secretary, but because Republican senators remain unconvinced about explanations they have heard or have not heard yet about these unconfirmed reports of bad behavior in Pete Hegseth's past, Trump is now considering Ron DeSantis, according to the Wall Street Journal.
That's DeSantis, of course, is Florida's governor. A Florida sheriff, meanwhile, is backed out as the Trump pick to lead the Drug Enforcement Administration. Chad Chronister faced a conservative pushback over his arrest of a pastor during the pandemic for holding church services violating COVID restrictions. The Supreme Court this morning will take up a big transgender rights case, considering a challenge to Tennessee's ban on puberty blockers and other gender-affirming treatments for kids.
We're looking for the court to hopefully affirm the right of states to be able to regulate these
these types of medical procedures, especially on children. We know the science is unsettled. There are potentially long-term harmful side effects of these surgeries and use of these medications.
Tennessee Republican State Senator Jack Johnson. Critics argue those kinds of state bans are transgender discrimination. The last uncalled House race has been called, and it's a win for Democrats. Adam Gray has unseated Congressman John Duarte in California by just 187 votes, but Republicans will still hold a very slim House majority in the next Congress. Political drama in South Korea, where the president may be impeached.
The shock decision by President Yoon Suk-yeol to declare martial law has ended up with President Yoon himself on the brink. Lawmakers climbed over Parliament's walls, gaining entry to the chamber and unanimously voting to overrule the order. President Yoon deployed troops, accusing the opposition of being criminals and anti-state forces.
Jonathan Savage, America's listening to Fox News.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Mommy, want to play a game with me and Dad?
Mommy's not feeling good.
You need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with DayQuil VapoCool. It's DayQuil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
Come on, honey. Let's let Mommy rest.
You guys are amazing. And so is DayQuil VapoCool.
DayQuil VapoCool, the vaporizing daytime coughing, aching, fever, power through your day medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Good morning, I'm Kim St. Ange for 97.1 FM Talk. 6:03 our time right now. We're at 34 degrees. St. Louis County Executive Sam Page has chosen Court Van Ostrand to replace County Prosecutor Wesley Bell when he's sworn in as a U.S. House Representative in January. Page's decision comes shortly after Attorney General Andrew Bailey and Governor Mike Parson filed a lawsuit to keep Page from filling that vacancy, arguing the Constitution gives Parson the power to make that pick. Van Ostrand, a Democrat, resigned from his position as Assistant U.S. Attorney to accept this new role. He ran against Ann Wagner for Congress back in 2018 and lost by about 4 percentage points. A proposed bill to create a bounty hunter program in Missouri to pay people to turn in illegal aliens is getting some pushback. David Gregory, a state representative who was just elected to the Senate, introduced the bill earlier this week. Gregory wants to pay Missourians, these bounty hunters, up to $1,000 if they turn someone in and they're arrested. A local attorney reacted saying, quote, "This is Nazi Germany stuff." Planned Parenthood will be in a Missouri courtroom today asking for the courts to knock down bans they now believe are unconstitutional after Amendment 3 passed in November. That amendment, which means abortion with no restrictions, is set to take effect tomorrow. If the judge rules in favor of Planned Parenthood, abortions could begin as soon as Thursday. That court hearing is set for 1:30 this afternoon in Kansas City. It's 6:04 and 34 degrees at 97.1 FM Talk. In sports, the Blues beat the Jets last night on the road 4-1. Game 2 of their Western Canadian road trip is Thursday, and that'll be against the Calgary Flames. Hey, a win for Mizzou basketball last night against Cal Berkeley. The final score of that one was 98-93. And you may have seen this. Some rumors are starting to swirl that Nolan Arenado could be heading to the Dodgers. That's because the first baseman, he posted to Instagram, and on that Instagram post, he used a song called Dodger Blue. There's no official word yet from the Cards. 34 degrees now at 6:05. You're listening to 97.1 FM Talk.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
We've got a stall this morning. It's northbound 270 just past Tesson Ferry. Looking at it on the Cordell and Cordell domestic litigation firm cameras. It's off on the right side, and it's not causing a huge delay. Some flashing lights through there. But if you're traveling on northbound 270, things are fine at this hour. Really no delays out there yet. Eastbound 70, 64, 40, and 44 all look good from out west into downtown. And we look good through North County, and no delays on 55 despite multiple construction zones. And if you are headed in from Illinois, we are in good shape on the bridges downtown. This report brought to you by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas. 6:06 at 97.1 FM Talk.
But my lips are turning blue. Are they fast?
My darling, Jerry Kelly can install a new furnace tomorrow, no matter what day tomorrow is, even if we call late at night.
You are my hero.
They're fast and they're good and they got it going on. JerryKelly.com.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Lots of sunshine on this Wednesday, and the winds have turned to the south. Now, it's chilly out the door, but we are breezy and warmer this afternoon. Pretty close to 50 degrees. That will feel pretty good. Tonight, clear skies, windy and cold. The winds swing to the northwest, a cold front coming down. A couple of snow flurries, but that's about it. 19. Thursday, just plain cold, though lots of sunshine. 28. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
6:07 and 34 degrees right now. You can listen to the Marc Cox Morning Show or any show on 97.1 FM Talk anytime or anywhere by downloading the free Odyssey app.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
The Marc Cox Morning Show.
Listen to both sides.
The bottom line is, I respect that we don't agree.
You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show.
Just to find a voice.
Who is this guy? He's saying what we've been saying forever.
I don't know how to put this.
Marc Cox.
I'm kind of a big deal.
Well, it adds excitement, doesn't it, folks?
All right, welcome back to the Marc Cox Morning Show. Glad you were with us on this Wednesday morning. It is the 4th day of December, if you can believe it. Already warmer out there this morning to the 30s. It's going to warm up to the 50s. And then tonight, the bottom's dropping out of it. According to Dave Murray, we could have single-digit wind chills tomorrow morning when we head out the door at 3 a.m. That'll be beautiful, won't it?
Can't wait for that.
We did. We knew it was coming. It was just a matter of time. Carl, what is your sweatshirt this morning? I can't see it from here.
It is.
Is it Yoda?
Darth Vader.
Oh, Darth Vader. Nice.
With
You're
a
in the Christmas
hat
spirit. I like it. I like it. Used to have a friend who used to start wearing ugly Christmas sweaters to work every day. He had like 30 of them, and he'd wear them the entire month of December.
That's kind
I
of
don't know
fun.
if he still does that or not. I'll have to check with
The
check
company
with
Christmas party is tonight, Mark.
It
so
is,
I'm
Carl.
Getting in the new mood.
Now, I know that 2 of the 3 people in this room are planning to attend that, aren't they?
One of them has an excuse of having a toddler.
Excuses. Kim St. Ange, are you not attending the company Christmas party tonight?
I wasn't planning on it.
Wow.
I said bring the kid.
That's where they announce the employee of the year usually.
I was gonna.
so
I
you're
should
gonna
be
miss that
mother of the year. If I
opportunity.
bring my
Thank
baby
you.
to a bar, I think that earns me that
But
title,
it's a
right?
Christmas pop-up. He will be so distracted by the lights.
And the decorations, he won't even notice you slamming beers while you're there. You know what I'm saying?
You know me.
Just kidding. I'm just kidding. Yeah, we'll have a full report on that tomorrow. Carl and I are planning to go. I just wish it wasn't all the way back downtown.
And it's from 4 to 7.
Rush hour, too.
I got an idea. Let's have one out like in Westport sometime.
That would
I'm
be
just
nice.
saying that
That's a
it's
beautiful
sort of halfway
facility.
Yeah, there you
But
go.
you know what, Mark? So Sue and Mark Reardon and Fred Bottenheimer, they don't get off the air until 6. and
Right.
it's over at 7. So I could see, even though Sue lives close here, she's like, she's only going to be there for like a half hour.
Yep. I could see that. All right, coming up, we're going to talk to our friend Terry Schilling from the American Principles Project, and he's talking more about the Supreme Court taking on the transgender procedure for minors case today. That's, of course, been challenged with places like Missouri banning it, and I'm going to get his take on what we're expecting to hear during those arguments today, coming up in just a couple of minutes here. First, though, I want to get to these top stories. Carl?
The Marc Cox Short List.
Since October the 7th, and we've lacked a president that had the testicular fortitude to get our people back.
Yes, thank you. Scott Jennings reading in the Riot Act over on CNN over their overreaction to Donald Trump threatening Hamas. Can you imagine an American president threatening terrorists who won't give us our hostages back? Well, that's a shock because the current occupant of the White House has not been willing to do that. He only criticizes Israel.
those powers to listen into phone calls, to read mail, so to speak, would be directed by somebody who has shown that he has a very political agenda.
Excuse me, just a moment. Was David Ignatius of the Washington Post actually suggesting that the FBI might wiretap somebody's phones if Kash Patel is the director, as opposed to when they did it to Donald Trump when he was running for president of the United States? Shocking.
I hope that President Biden will also issue preemptive pardons to all of those people threatened by the injustice of what will become the Department of Justice.
Again, coming from the mouths of hypocrites who watched Joe Biden use his Department of Justice to persecute Donald Trump, and now they're all worried the same thing might happen to them. Wow.
So we are, unbeknownst to most Americans, in a hot war with Russia, an undeclared war, a war you did not vote for and that most Americans don't want, but that is ongoing. And because of that war, because of the fact that the U.S. military is killing Russians in Russia right now, we are closer to nuclear war than at any time in history.
Tucker Carlson is back in Moscow, and he did not interview Putin, but he did talk to basically the head, Lavrov is the guy's name, Sergei Lavrov, right? Who's the foreign minister, I think, for Russia. And what he's reporting here should frighten all of us. The lack of common sense out of this administration when it comes to what's going on in Ukraine, the firing of U.S. missiles by apparently the U.S. military members who were on the ground when it happened into Russian territory. He said we're already in a hot war with Russia, and you know what? We cut off relations with them 2 years ago. There's not even a back channel. Think about that for just a minute. It's pretty shocking. He's apparently going to air the interview with Lavrov a little later today, but his point is that we are closer to nuclear war than we've been in a long time, and nobody in the Biden administration seems to care.
We've watched from the United States as the Biden administration has driven the U.S. ever closer to a nuclear conflict with Russia, the country that possesses the world's largest nuclear arsenal. It has accelerated ever since, and it's reached its apogee so far in the weeks after Trump's election. He's now the president-elect. In that time, just a few weeks ago, the Biden administration, American military personnel, launched missiles into mainland Russia and killed at least a dozen Russian soldiers. So we are, unbeknownst to most Americans, in a hot war with Russia, an undeclared war, a war you did not vote for and that most Americans don't want, but that is ongoing. And because of that war, because of the fact that the U.S. military is killing Russians in Russia right now, we are closer to nuclear war than at any time in history. Far closer than we were during the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Well, and keep in mind there are North Korean troops in Russia who are part of that. So does that broaden it even more? Kind of scary.
This is the scariest part, and if it ever happens, I want you to remember what the Biden administration failed to do. Listen.
We felt there must be someone behind the scenes in Washington working to make sure that this conflict doesn't become a nuclear holocaust. But we found out that no, in fact, there is nobody. Tony Blinken, the current Secretary of State, cut off all contact between the U.S. and Russian governments. There is no back channel, there is no conversation, there hasn't been for more than 2 years. That's shocking. Meanwhile, most Americans have no access to any perspective other than that granted to them by NBC News and the New York Times. They don't know how close we are. They don't know the Russian perspective.
Tucker says he's been trying to get a interview with Vladimir Zelensky for over a year now. And the current occupant of the White House and the Secretary of State have told Zelensky not to talk to him, that they can talk to CNN and these other outlets, but they're not allowed to. He's not allowed to sit down with Tucker Carlson. It's just shocking what's gone on here. And my guess is most of you were not aware of that. Tucker's going to drop his interview with Sergei Lavrov soon. I don't know, one day this week, maybe tomorrow. But I'll let you know once that happens for sure. All right, coming up, We talked about the Transgender Center here at Washington University, the fact that we've tried to ban most of this nonsense in the state of Missouri. The left is fighting back, and today part of that case will be argued at the United States Supreme Court. We're going to talk to the folks from the American Principles Project when we come back.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
Good morning to you. Well, we've got a couple of stalls along northbound 270. There's one just past Tesson Ferry on the right-hand side. Some flashing lights there. And also northbound 270 approaching 6440. That one appears to be more on the right shoulder. They're on the Cordell and Cordell domestic litigation firm cameras. But that's about it for action at this hour. If you are just headed out the door, we actually look pretty good throughout the area this morning. We've got light volume through North County and still look good eastbound 70, 64, and 44 into downtown. Now, from 7 a.m. until 3 p.m., there is road work scheduled eastbound on 5570, kind of coming off the Poplar Street Bridge in the East St. Louis area. They're supposed to close the 3 center lanes during the midday hours. Again, maybe also this morning if it starts at 7. But just bear that in mind. It could cause delays if you're headed into Illinois later this morning. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas. It is 6:17 at 97.1 FM Talk.
All right, time for me to brag a little bit about my friends from the range. St. Louis West could not pull off our successful ATF raffle every year without them. They're always willing to donate a fine rifle or handgun for us to auction off and raffle off, and we appreciate that. Love what they do. The list of accolades continues to grow for the range. Once again, MissouriMagazines.com has named them the best shooting range in Missouri for 5 of the last 8 years, including 2024, just so you know. If you're a Second Amendment supporter, this is the place to be for the training, for the products, for the shooting sports, for the indoor practice when it's 12 degrees outside. You're in the wonderful controlled climate in the basement of the Range St. Louis West, and it is fantastic to be able to go down there and continue your training even in the cold months. They have training classes recommended by national top trainers like Brian Hill, the Complete Combatant, and Scott Jedlinski of Modern Warrior Project. Both of these guys recommend the range, and you've already heard me say that the National Shooting Sports Foundation gave them the highest rating, 5 stars. There are only 56 of those nationwide that achieve that. So when it's time to exercise your Second Amendment rights, when it's time to get some home protection or a concealed carry weapon, go to the Range St. Louis West, 14803 Manchester Road in Baldwin, online anytime at therangeSTL.com.
97.1 on the Odyssey app on your phone. The easiest way to listen when you don't have a radio. For everything in the news.
Your home for conservative talk.
The Odyssey app. 97.1 FM Talk.
You're leaving for work, but the garage door won't open. Is it the opener? Is the spring broken? Now you're late and your car is trapped. Well, don't panic. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis is here with same-day emergency service. They won't leave you stuck. The original Red Ribbon Garage Door Company, trusted in St. Louis since 1926. Call 314-781-5200 or schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
Grocery prices have you down? Ruler Foods offers everyday low prices on hundreds of grocery essentials, fresh produce, easy snacks, and all your Kroger brand favorites for less. Ruler Foods also offers pickup and delivery. Stay home, shop your favorite deals, and get your groceries delivered right to you by going to rulerfoods.com. Save on avocados and mangoes, 88 cents each. Red seedless grapes, $1.48 a pound. Kroger 80% lean ground beef sold in a 3-pound roll, $3.98 a pound. Heritage Farm Lake Quarter, 68 cents a pound. And Kroger Big K12 packs, 3 for $9 when you buy 3.
Here's another great reason to use the United States Postal Service this season. When sending a package, why venture outside? Ship with USPS for a true holiday ride. Want to stay cozy and warm? There's no need to roam. With free package pickup and labels printed from home. We have over 600,000 employees always in motion. And before you know it, your gift has delivered emotion. Spread the holiday joy this season with USPS's Enhanced Network. Learn more at USPS.com/holidayride.
A lot of people, when they come in, they'll say, this is my last hope. The next step is getting them in the right arch supports. Our goal is to have that long-term change for them, to see someone that is in pain. I change things for them. See how we can help you with a free fitting at the Good Feet store.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com or call us toll-free at 888-367-6512.
Truth, justice, and the American way. This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
My Department of Education will inform states and school districts that if any teacher or school official suggests to a child that they could be trapped in the wrong body, they will be faced with severe consequences, including potential civil rights violations for sex discrimination.
Yeah, Donald Trump, when he was on the campaign trail, and now that he's president-elect, has promised he's going to crack down on some of the problems we've seen, the social contagion problems on this trans issue that we've seen right here, for example, in the Parkway School District. The whistleblower for the trans center there at Washington University said pretty clearly that they had schools where there were groups of children coming in who suddenly decided that they were trans. So hopefully we're going to get this addressed. Today, the Supreme Court is going to hear the transgender procedure for minors issue. We got Terry Schilling on the phone, president of the American Principles Project. And Terry, welcome back to the show. How are you?
Hey, thank you so much for having me back on.
Yeah, absolutely. So what are we expecting to hear today during this SCOTUS hearing?
Well, this is all about SB 1 in Tennessee. And SB 1 bans was so-called pediatric gender medicine, also known as sex change procedures for minors. And it all happened because Matt Walsh, who's a famous blogger and commentator at the Daily Wire, uncovered videos at the Vanderbilt University Medical Center where executives there were doing presentations talking about how much more money and revenue they could bring in to the medical system there by offering these sex change procedures for minors.
Wow.
And it's absolutely egregious. So Tennessee passed SB 1 to protect children and families from these types of exploitation and I would say consumer fraud. And the big question before the Supreme Court is this constitutional? Or is this depriving trans-identifying Americans of their rights to quote-unquote health care? I think the obvious answer is sex change procedures are not health care. They are health destruction. You're ruining your body. And I would be really shocked to see the Supreme Court rule the wrong way and tear down all 26 states' laws that have passed in the last 4 years.
Including Missouri's law. And who's fighting it? Is it the ACLU? I mean, who's gone to court with this?
You'll be shocked to hear this, but the ACLU has teamed up with the United States of America. Our Department of Justice, Merrick Garland, is defending this. Not Merrick Garland. I forget the name of the woman on the case. She's the Solicitor General.
Right.
But it's the United States government against these states that are trying to protect children. The good news is we have a new president now, and we're going to get a new attorney general, and it's going to be reversed. We're going to go on offense and protect our kids.
Yeah, I wonder what happens in that situation. Does whoever becomes head of the Department of Justice, Attorney General, do they just go in and retract the case? I mean, how would they approach that? Any ideas?
Well, they'll have to come up with new cases themselves. Unfortunately, this Supreme Court case will be done and decided before President Trump gets into office. But there are a whole host of things that the Department of Justice can do to further protect our children. We need more investigations into these hospitals and their cover-ups. You know, the National Institute for Health, for example, is sitting on a $9.7 million taxpayer-funded study of research on kids that go through gender transitions. And they're sitting on it because the results are so terrible and so disastrous that if they release it, it will destroy the industry. Just like the Cass report in
Yes.
the United Kingdom did a lot to roll back European advancements on this, or retreats on this issue. I think that it'll have the same impact.
Well, I mean, I think just common sense tells you that most people are looking at this thinking, if you're an adult and you've decided you want to mutilate your body like that, and you're paying for it, there are no taxpayer dollars involved, you go for it. If you are trying to do this to children, procedures that are irreversible for a 14 or a 15-year-old child, or put them on puberty blockers, Americans don't support that. It's insane.
Oh, no, not only do Americans not support that, Americans abhor the idea of giving children sex change procedures. I mean, don't forget, these are children. They're under 18. They can't even consent to sex. So in what crazy world are you living in that children can consent to sex changes?
Yeah.
It's absolutely nuts.
It is crazy. Terry, we appreciate having you on. I was reading your bio this morning and realized you went to school in Steubenville, Ohio. My first job was in Zanesville, Ohio. I worked for WHIZ TV over there.
Oh, yeah, that's very, very close. I love Ohio. It's a great state, amazing people. And the Franciscan University there in Steubenville is absolutely fantastic. I'm going to try and push my kids to go there.
Yeah, no kidding. It ranked in the top 10 in the country, it said, when I looked at their website. That's a small world. Terry Schilling, thanks for what you do. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Mark.
Absolutely. President of the American Principles Project, and up there paying close attention to this. Yeah, I would hope that, whoever becomes the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, gets in there on day one and submits something to the Supreme Court saying the DOJ is no longer fighting this, just so you know. And they often don't issue their decisions till May. I don't know what, if any, impact it could have on it, but, I mean, it could, I imagine. All right, coming up, we'll get to Nicole Murray. Of course, get you an update on business. The market is trending up this morning for some reason, a big jump. We'll ask her why in just a few minutes. Stay tuned.
Ever have one of those days where your gut just feels blah?
Ugh, yes.
Occasional bloating or gas could be signs that your gut is out of balance, but Align Probiotic can help. Align 24/7 Digestive Support is a daily use probiotic with a unique strain to help relieve occasional digestive issues. It's the #1 doctor-recommended brand. So when you feel the signs, it's time to try Align. Align Probiotic. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Good morning, I'm Kim St. Ange for 97.1 FM Talk. 34 degrees now at 6:30. A Missouri man was put to death last night for raping and murdering a 9-year-old girl in 2007 after Governor Mike Parson denied his request for clemency. Christopher Collins was given a lethal injection in Bonne Terre. In his final statement, he wrote, "To anyone that I've hurt in this life, I'm sorry. I hope that you were able to get closure and move on." He added, "I hope to see you in heaven one day." A Webster University student who sued to get her money back after the school closed during COVID may actually get some. The university agreed to a $250,000 settlement, meaning full-time students during the spring 2020 semester could get reimbursed for parking, housing, and other fees. Keep in mind, a judge still needs to approve that settlement, and a date for that hearing has not yet been set. In sports, Blues beat the Jets last night 4-1. Game 2 of their Western Canadian road trip is Thursday, and that'll be against the Calgary Flames. A win for Mizzou basketball last night against Cal Berkeley. Final score 98-93. I'm Kim St. for 97.1 FM Talk.
MoDOT reporting a stall now eastbound 70 on the ramp to 170. And they are saying that is on the shoulder, not actually blocking a lane on that ramp. So just bear that in mind. But for the most part, we really look good at this hour. We look great throughout the area. We've got light traffic in general. So if you are traveling on eastbound 70, it looks good from out west into downtown. 40 looks good. 44, northbound 55. Yep, still light traffic. Now, northbound 55, we're starting to see some brake lights in the right lanes headed for 270, but that's about it. And if you are headed in from Illinois, we look good on the bridges downtown. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas, 632 at 97.1 FM Talk.
Well, when you visited loved ones for Thanksgiving, if you traveled somewhere, were you keeping a close eye out? If you have elderly loved ones who live by themselves, there are warning signs that you may be to a point where they need extra help, right? They need maybe a helping hand to dress or to shower, maybe to prepare meals. That's when you start looking for senior living. And when you do, I want you to consider Hampton Manor of Wentzville. They can help out with all of those things or none of them. That's the thing about it. People can age in place at Hampton Manor at whatever level they come in at, and if they need additional care as it goes along, that's available for them, right? They even have a memory care neighborhood in the building, in a separate part of the building there, and you need to go pay them a visit. Lake St. Louis exit at Highway 70. It's Hampton Manor, Wentzville. Opened up about a year ago. Still has that new car smell. It's beautiful. Looks like a resort. And when you walk in, you'll see what I'm talking about. The owner insists on it. People are treated there like they're on a cruise ship. And if they sit down to dinner and they don't like what's on the menu, they'll make them something else. I love that they do that. When you go visit, they'll even feed you lunch. Just tell them Marc Cox sent you. You can schedule your tour today at WentzvilleAssistedLiving.com.
Thank you for making the Marc Cox Morning Show's Responder Rescue ATF raffle a tremendous success this year.
$23,100 for Responder Rescue.
Thanks for being here with the Marc Cox Morning Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
In Missouri, farming isn't just a profession, it's a purpose. You can feel it in our 27 million acres of farmland. You can see it in the nearly 41,000 Missourians who work in agriculture. You can hear it at our farmers markets. You can count it in the $93.7 billion it brings our state. And you can taste it at your family's dinner table. A lot of farmers in our state rely on Bayer's tools and inventions because Bayer has a purpose too. To help farmers thrive. Learn more at go.bayer.com/purpose. Paid for by Bayer.
best care with the doctors of Ophthalmology Associates. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brasati, Andy Royer, and now Dr. Samuel Berry. 314-966-5000 or visit youridoc.com. They have a great location just off Manchester Road, a half-mile west of 270. Ophthalmology Associates.
It's only scary because it's true. You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show.
Yet, and he's already spending his time sitting in his golden palace, Mar-a-Lago, muscling other countries like he's Tony Soprano with a social media site. Doing things like, reportedly, debating whether or not to invade Mexico. Threatening BRICS countries, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, with 100% tariffs if they don't commit to trading in dollars and not their own currencies. Demanding Hamas release all hostages being held in Gaza before his inauguration, or there will be, quote, all hell to pay in the Middle East.
Joy Reid, there's no joy in Reid anymore. Can I just tell you that? She is mad that we have a president who wields power, who uses the power of the United States to get results. Before he's even taken office.
Is that a bad thing that
No.
you're demanding all the hostages be released? I mean, we should be celebrating that.
In Joy Reid's world, that's apparently a bad thing. I needed to play that for you so you understand just how far off the rails some of these people at MSNBC have gone these days. It is absolutely crazy. Hey, let's get to Nicole Murray, please. Nicole, good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing fine. How you doing?
I be doing okay, man. Thanks for asking.
She mentioned the Sopranos there. Made me think of New Jersey when she said that.
There goes my New Jersey accent again. It comes without warning. It's not even something I do on purpose sometimes.
New Jersey. Chris Christie used to remind me of Tony Soprano as he was driving across the bridge there in his Tahoe with his cigar hanging out the window. It just always reminds me of New Jersey when I see that show.
You sound a little hoarse. Are you okay?
I don't know what I woke up this morning with a little frog in my throat. I'm not quite sure, but
and it's rubbing off on me apparently because
she's starting to feel it now too. I tell you what I did this weekend. I took my grandkids to a place called Silver Dollar City down in Branson, Missouri, and I think one of them might have given me the crud. I hope not.
It's like Six Flags.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for the comparison.
I think maybe that's what happened, but I feel fine. But thank you for noticing because I do sound like a frog. What's going on out there?
You sound better than a frog. But
thank you.
Here we go. Futures are moderately higher. Tuesday, the Dow Industrials lost 76, the Nasdaq gained 76, and the S&P 500 up 2. German-based Lufthansa Airlines said its nonstop route from St. Louis to Frankfurt has been so successful it would like to expand the flights to 5 days per week, up from 3. However, the airline's expansion plans are on hold as Boeing struggles with a logjam of 787 Dreamliners. Flora Farms took more than 3,000 Zen-branded cannabis gummy products off shelves last month after state regulators received a complaint the food coloring ingredient wasn't listed on the label. Only one adverse reaction was reported. As of September 1st, marijuana manufacturers must now package and label all products in division-approved designs before sending them to a dispensary. The average interest rate for 30-year mortgages decreased to 6.69% from 6.86%. Applications to refinance a home loan fell 1% for the week and were 7% lower than the same week 1 year ago. Applications for a mortgage to purchase a home jumped 6% for the week to the highest level since January. Traders will review the ADP private payrolls report for November, which is expected to show growth of 163,000 positions. That's according to economists polled by Dow Jones. Data drops at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Shoppers spent $13.3 billion online during Cyber Monday, and that's according to Adobe Incorporated, which is up 7.3% year over year. Adobe attributed the strong numbers to shoppers waiting for the big discounts and using buy now, pay later loans to splurge on pricey items. Monday was the busiest online shopping day of the year. Do you feel like an adult? Between figuring out finances and managing relationships, it turns out most adults don't truly feel like adults until they're hit their 30s. Reminder, you are doing just fine.
Oh, my God. That can't be a real thing, right?
It is a real thing. This is according to a recent study. People don't feel like they are an adult until they hit their 30s. I'm 32. I don't feel like an adult. I feel like I'm just this little kid that's being expected to just go about the world knowing what I'm doing.
You know, we've done this to ourselves. I hate to say that. I don't want to be the old codger who says, well, when I was a kid, I walked uphill in the snow to school, because I didn't. But when my father turned 18, he left home and went to get a job at a steel mill, and he worked there for the next 40 years.
Okay.
I mean, he was adulting at 18. So we have sort of coddled our children these days, I think, if they're not feeling like they're an adult till they're 30.
Yeah, I see it both ways. I see what you're saying, that maybe there is a little bit of coddling, but I also see your point, Nicole. I'm about to be 35 in a couple weeks, and I kind of feel that way too. I don't feel like a kid, but there are certain things I'll do, and I'm like, wow, I'm old enough to do this. Like sometimes, like I have an almost 2-year-old, and I'm like, wow, like I'm a mom. Because you think about it growing up, and then you realize you're at that phase of life, and you still can't believe it. I mean, just like you talk to people who are my parents' age, and they say, I feel like I'm back in my 30s or my 40. You're in disbelief that you're the age that you are because you don't feel like that.
I
Maybe
remember
that's
looking,
what they mean.
Yeah, I remember looking at people when I was like a teenager. I remember looking at people in their 20s and 30s being like, wow, you're so cool. You must know everything that you're supposed to do. And I'm going to learn so much by the time I'm that age. And joke's on me because no one knows anything.
I saw somebody post who I went to high school with, so they're 35, and they said something like, I'm 35 years old, and I just learned that peanuts grow underground. Like, there's just things like random facts that I learn, and I'm like, what?
Wait, peanuts grow underground?
Yes. But there's so many things that was what he posted, but I'm telling you, I learn things every day, and I'm like, why am I just now learning this?
Where did you think they grew?
I don't know.
On a vine?
On trees?
Yeah.
Trees?
Yeah, you climb up the tree and you pick the peanut.
The peanut tree.
Yeah.
Don't
it's next to the
judge
pineapple
me.
tree.
I thought they grew in jars. Come on. With planters on
They
the side
grow in a
of them.
lab, Mark.
Say Jif.
That's funny. Oh, man. Nicole, have a great couple days. We'll talk to you Friday, I should say. It is Wednesday, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
I
Thank
missed
you
Monday,
so much.
so it threw me off. I apologize.
No problem. I'll forgive you.
All right. We'll see you Friday. All right. That's good. Yeah, that's, I don't know.
Come on. There are things like that, though, at your young age, Mark.
Thank you.
That you learn and you think, I can't believe it took me this long to realize that.
I have come across things like that.
Well, of course you should.
I agree with
but
you
you're
on
dumbfounded at certain things that you somehow didn't know.
that. Yeah. Now, I'm with her. I'm like, you at some age in life, you're looking at somebody who's the same age you are now or younger thinking, my God, they're ancient. They're old. How can they be that old?
I remember back in high school, and you'd learn a teacher was in their 30s, and you're like, wow, they're so old and mature. And now I'm at that point, and I'm thinking, I mean, I'd like to think I'm mature, but I don't know. I'm young.
You're mature. You're a mom.
Thank you. Well, I'm sorry, but let's be real. There are many moms who are not mature.
This is true.
That doesn't make you mature just because you become a mom. It should, but sadly doesn't.
It drags you into reality, dragging and screaming, right? You're kicked and screaming into reality.
That's why you should bring your baby to the Christmas party
Karl
tonight.
wants me to bring my baby to the bar. We should take a vote on that.
It's
not a bar.
really
First
a-
of all, it's a
Oh,
private
what-
event.
Mark, are
It's
you
like a
defending
restaurant.
this?
No, it's like a restaurant.
It's a private event. It's not open to patrons besides us.
I don't think people want my nearly 2-year-old running around, rolling on the ground, finding whatever's dropped and trying to put it in his mouth.
You underestimate
taking
the
ornaments
power
off
of
the tree
the
if there
people
are
we
any
work
trees
with
there.
who want to see children.
All right, coming up, we're going to get to another news with Ethan in just a couple of minutes. We'll find out if he's going to the party, Karl. I'm pretty sure he is. Good. All right. And next hour, our friend Genevieve Wood from Heritage is in talking about why DEI policies have actually made America meaner than it was before. We'll get to all that for you coming up in the next hour. Stay tuned.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
Good morning to you. I'm taking a look at a Cordell and Cordell domestic litigation firm camera. 270 at Doherty Ferry, and there's a little bit of volume out there, but it's still moving at this hour, and that's kind of what we're seeing throughout the entire area. Northbound 270 has that moderate volume in pockets, 55 on up through Doherty Ferry, 55 a little bit slow at Bayless. And we've got some volume westbound on the Poplar Street Bridge, but it's not bad at this hour. Eastbound 70 looks good from out west into downtown. 64, there's some volume out at Prospect, but then that opens up and looks good from out west into downtown as well. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas. It's 646 at 97.1 FM Talk.
All right, let me tell you about my flooring experience with Michael's Flooring Outlet. We have bought flooring 4 different times over the last, 10 years from Michael's. And so predating his support of me on this program, we love Michael's Flooring Outlet. Mike Reynolds, he's a great guy. If you go to River, I call it Riverport. If you go to the Hollywood Casino Amphitheater to see a concert, you might run into him out there because he's a big rock fan. I know that. We love our flooring. We love the engineered hardwood we chose for our new house. We love the fact that they got it installed before the furniture arrived. That was beautiful. We didn't have to move everything afterwards to get it in. And they made sure, the attention to detail, that everything was perfect. They follow up after the sale. You're going to love, there are lots of options out there when you choose flooring. Get one of your bids from Michael's Flooring Outlet. Go to one of their 3 locations. See what they have in stock. You might get it installed the next day. Old Town St. Peters, West St. Louis County, or Darden Prairie. Online at igotfloor.com.
The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Hunter Hayden.
You said Punter Hayden was pardoned by President Bo Jiden.
Yeah.
Bo Jiden.
Actually, wait a second. That is a direct quote from Joe Biden.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
Being first in line can be very important to homeowners. First in line for the plumber, first in line for the HVAC guy, first in line at Banner Construction for new James Hardy fiber cement siding next spring. It may be winter now, but you can be first in line for spring and save before the annual price increases. Banner Construction is a James Hardy and Pella window replacement specialist, and this is the best time to schedule a free in-home consultation with no obligation. Call 314-569-1050 or check out bannerconstruction.com today.
The election is finally over. Now you can get the cash you need. This is James Hawkins, president of Golden Oak Lending. Did you know that today the average homeowner has over $200,000 in equity? Imagine what you could do with just $50,000 of that equity. Pay off your credit cards, do home improvements, or even pay off your auto loan. Golden Oak's mortgage rate is 5.25%. We have no fee to apply and no out-of-pocket costs. If you call today, you can get your cash in as little as 14 days and make no payments until next year. Don't forget our appraisal guarantee. If for any reason your loan doesn't close, we will pay for your appraisal. Call today and take advantage of our 5.25 fixed rate. But don't wait, this rate won't last forever. Call 314-567-GOLD. That's 314-567-GOLD.
Golden Oak Lending cured my blues.
6.19 APR, FHA, 15-year, 20% equity, qualified credit. Additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
Hey, St. Louis, are you in search of top-notch cybersecurity solutions? Look no further. ThrottleNet is here to help. Ransomware attacks are on the rise, putting businesses like yours at risk. Don't let cyber criminals jeopardize your hard-earned success. ThrottleNet provides comprehensive cybersecurity services tailored specifically to your unique needs. Our award-winning customer service provides 24/7 protection to keep your data safe and secure. Take charge of your digital security today. Protect your business, protect your future. ThrottleNet.com, your reliable partner in cybersecurity.
Steel holiday savings are here. Make room under the tree for gifts at the top of their wish list. Power up the holidays with great deals on long-lasting tools. Find the perfect gift at your local Steel dealer or shop the Steel Holiday Gift Guide at SteelUSA.com.
100-mile-per-hour discussion starters, even in heavy traffic. This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
What's happening?
Go, you know the thing.
What the hell is going on?
In other news.
The iconic Rockefeller Christmas tree lighting ceremony, that's going to be broadcast live tonight on NBC and Peacock at 7 o'clock. It's hosted by Kelly Clarkson, the 2-hour special, Christmas at Rockefeller Center. It's going to feature performances from Jennifer Hudson, the Rockettes, Dan and Shay, and the Backstreet Boys. This year's 74-foot, 11-ton Norway spruce is described as having the perfect Christmas tree shape.
I thought that was Mariah Carey. You opened up with there. Who was it?
It was Kelly Clarkson.
Oh, okay. That's why I was confused. I'm like, why has he not mentioned Mariah Carey yet? She's not. Carl saw her this weekend.
I did. It was fantastic.
How were her eyebrows?
They were
You would.
perfectly done.
How are your eyebrows, Kim?
They're fantastic. Thank you for asking. How are your eyebrows?
I was today days old when I found out that women have their eyebrows tattooed on.
But what's the word for it, Mark? Do you remember?
Microblading?
That's right.
Is that what you call it?
Mhm.
Wow.
Mark looked at me like
I said you
He said
what?
your eyebrows are tattooed on.
I did not know that was a
Sue,
thing.
you knew this was a thing, right?
I thought they were drawn on sometimes, but I didn't know they were permanent.
I did, but as a dark-haired person, I have
You don't
I
have that
have
problem.
my own brows.
In fact, Sue has some she can give you.
Sue, can I rent your brows? Are
Yes.
they for sale?
Whatever you need.
There you go. Nice.
First Lady Joe Biden's final White House Christmas decorations themed A Season of Peace and Light has sparked criticism from Republican critics. The decorations, featuring bright colors, nearly 28,000 ornaments, and a vibrant carousel with floating animals, were meant to highlight unity and peace. This marks the latest in a series of holiday decoration controversies following backlash against Melania Trump's 2017 Time-honored Traditions theme, which was criticized for being eerie, horror-inspired look. Both First Ladies' efforts to decorate the White House for Christmas have been met with polarized reactions, highlighting the ongoing political divide over even holiday traditions.
Or you just have ugly decorations because hers
They
look
were a little-
like a circus.
It does. It looks.
I haven't seen it yet.
Google it.
Google it.
I will.
Really?
Don't worry.
It looks
There literally is like this giant carousel in there.
Melania Trump's looked just so classy and elegant. Like her or not, it was classy when she had a say
And
in
they
decorating it.
blasted
And
it.
it looks.
Wow.
Remember, last year was ridiculous. This year equally was ridiculous.
What was last year?
Remember they had all those like weird dancer people going in and doing
Oh, yeah.
all that stuff?
Oh, it was an art installation.
Yeah, I do remember that. Debbie Nelson, the mother of rapper Eminem, passed away at 69 here in St. Joseph, Missouri, after a long battle with lung cancer. She's known for her relationship with her son, of course. Nelson was a recurring figure in Eminem's lyrics, including songs like Cleaning Out My Closet and Headlights. Their estrangement was marked by public disputes, including a $10 million defamation lawsuit she filed against him in 1999 that
Quit
was
singing
later
about me.
settled out of court.
Yikes.
Is that why she sued him?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, he said she was a terrible mother.
But I thought he was from Detroit.
They are. She just moved down here.
She just moved to St. Joe.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Pop Culture Jeopardy! It's a spinoff of the classic trivia game show. It premieres today on Amazon Prime if you're interested. It's hosted by comedian Colin Jost, and the series combines the academic rigor of traditional Jeopardy with a focus on pop culture. Contestants compete in teams of 3, answering questions on topics ranging from music and superhero franchises to MMA and Broadway.
Wait. Teams of 3?
Yes, sir.
That's dumb.
They're
Tournament
dumbing down Jeopardy is what you're
Yeah.
telling us.
Well, it's pop culture anyway.
I would
yeah,
be
but
terrible
I would think that
at
would
that.
be way easier.
See, I think that's going to be easier than some of the normal
Yeah.
things they cover.
Yeah, like what was Beethoven's first?
Yeah.
I
So
don't
there
know.
are people that probably suck at that, and they had to dumb it down a little bit to keep its popularity
Well,
up.
they had Rock and
For
Roll
people like
Jeopardy
me.
on VH1 with Jeff Probst as the host, and I always thought that was fun. But a 3-person team.
You huddle, and then you come up with the best answer, and then
guess.
it's like
Is it going to be like
trivia
Family
night.
Feud?
Yeah, thank you.
Everyone shouts it out, and then there's the one person who gets to say the answer.
I'm not saying I'm good at it because I often watch Jeopardy and can't answer the question. I'm just saying if you're just simplifying it for people to make it
Who
more
are the
popular.
Rolling Stones?
Some people might miss that.
A band,
my
come
God.
on. Beast of Burden, give me some credit here. That's the only
Thank
song
you.
I know, but still, I know one of them. Yeah.
That counts.
Thank you,
That
Sue.
counts. Thank you, Sue. Yep, true.
Credit.
A salmonella outbreak linked to cucumbers from Mexico has sickened about 68 people across 19 states, with 18 hospitalizations reported. The U.S. FDA has expanded the recall to include cucumbers distributed by Sunfed Produce, Bologna Farms, and Russ Davis, covering products sold in 35 states between October 12th and November 26th. The recalled cucumbers were sold at Walmart, Costco's, and a grocery store that's not around here, but they were sold in Missouri, so check your bags or whatever your cucumbers came in.
How long do cucumbers stay on the shelf?
Well, but not only that, you don't know when you buy a cucumber, it has nothing on it. So how are you supposed to know where it came from?
Right.
I would think they got to have a little sticker on there, don't
I'm
they?
sure there's something on that little tiny sticker that would indicate that.
I would think so, too.
I don't eat those.
Well, there you go, Carl. You don't have to worry about that because you don't eat any vegetables.
Carl will never be poisoned by lettuce.
You don't have to worry.
or
Yeah, the
vegetables.
lettuce, anything that has a risk of that, Carl, you're
Cheese.
clear.
Nope.
If there's ever a recall on popcorn, let us know, because he's toast.
Dunzo.
I have some right here.
Coming up, we'll get to Kim on a Whim. We're going to get to Genevieve Wood and talk more about some immigrants or illegal aliens already self-deporting, courtesy of the incoming Trump administration. We'll be back in just a minute.
The 28th Winter Warm-Up is coming to Busch Stadium and Ballpark Village January 18th through the 20th. The event features 3 days full of non-stop Cardinals family-friendly fun, including tours of the Cardinals clubhouse, admission to the world-class Cardinals Hall of Fame and Museum, plus access to the Cardinals Care Store, autographs, auctions, and an exhibit hall full of sports memorabilia and more. Tickets are on sale now. Proceeds benefit Cardinals Care and its mission to care for kids in the community. Find more details at cardinals.com/WWU.
Be one of the first fans to catch the start of a brand new Cardinals season at Spring Training 2025. Cardinals Vacations makes it easy for you to get to warm, sunny Florida by being your one-stop shop for spring training travel. You'll receive hotel accommodations, great game tickets, an exclusive dinner at the ballpark with select Cardinals personnel, and much more. Make your plans right now. Call Cardinals Vacations at 800-892-7687 or go online to cardinals.com/vacations.
When you're approaching retirement, there are a lot of questions to answer. Do you have enough money to fund your income for life? How should you claim Social Security? And what's your plan for health care and long-term care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Don't leave your retirement to chance. It's crucial to understand and address relevant risks before you retire. Our team can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement decisions, and create an investment portfolio designed around your needs. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com. Or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
Greg Hammonds at greghammonds.com wants to remind you that if you pay for your own health insurance, open enrollment ends January 15th. If you are looking for coverage, do not go online looking for quotes. You'll get endless calls from call centers and they will not stop. Instead, call Greg, an expert with over 40 years experience, and he can provide sound advice for your health insurance needs. Their plans, if you qualify, let you pick your doctors, and it's 30 to 60% lower cost than Obamacare. The monthly premiums are independent of your income, so there will be no surprise tax bills. If you pay for your own health insurance, own a small business, you're uninsured, you're on COBRA, or your employer coverage is just too expensive, call Greg at 314-794-7784. That's 314-794-7784. Or go to greghammonds.com. That's greghammonds.com. They will custom design a plan managed by you, not the government.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Matt Gaetz has company. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Another Trump nominee joins the Attorney General dropout, withdrawing from consideration. The president-elect's picked to head the DEA. And another could be next. Defense Secretary nominee Pete Hegseth.
Trump is considering replacing him with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. So here's part of what the Wall Street Journal is reporting. Quote, Trump allies increasingly think Hegseth may not survive further scrutiny, according to people close to the president-elect's team, which considers the next 48 hours to be crucial to his fate.
Fox's Bill Malugin near the Trump estate in West Palm Beach, Florida. As for Chad Chronister, who backed out as the next leader of the Drug Enforcement Administration, the sheriff in Florida faced Republican opposition over his arrest of a pastor during the pandemic for violating COVID rules. We finally have the last House election result. Democrats win a California race they've been too close to call. Adam Gray will unseat Congressman John Duarte. He won by just 187 votes. Republicans will still have a House majority, likely with Mike Johnson still Speaker. However, it's going to be a slim one with Matt Gaetz not returning, and Republicans Elise Stefanik and Michael Waltz in line to leave to join the Trump administration.
But not before they vote for Speaker on January 3rd. Still, just a couple of defectors could create headaches for Johnson retaining the Speaker's gavel. The departures of Stefanik and Waltz means the House could be 217 to 215 for months. Tight numbers could make it hard to govern.
That's Fox's Chad Burgum at the Capitol. The Supreme Court will take up a big transgender case this morning, a challenge to Tennessee's law banning treatments for children.
It will be the first time the nation's highest court will consider restrictions on puberty blockers, hormone therapy, and surgery for minors. The case could have an impact on the laws in the 24 other states with bans in effect. Critics argue the bans have forced minors seeking gender-affirming care to travel long distances.
That's Fox's Ryan Schmelz. America's listening to Fox News.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
You okay?
Sorry, I can't sleep with this cough.
Sounds like you need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with NyQuil VapoCool. It's NyQuil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
So you ready to get some sleep? Thank you, NyQuil VapoCool.
NyQuil VapoCool, the vaporizing nighttime coughing, aching, fever, best sleep with a cold medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Good morning. Hope you're having a great Wednesday so far. I'm Kim St. for 97.1 FM Talk. 34 degrees now if you're just leaving the house. It's 7:03. St. Louis County Executive Sam Page has chosen Court Van Oosteren to replace County Prosecutor Wesley Bell when he's sworn in as a U.S. House Representative in January. Page's decision comes shortly after Attorney General Andrew Bailey and Governor Mike Parson filed a lawsuit to keep Page from filling the vacancy. They argue the Constitution gives Parson the power to make that pick. Van Oosteren, who's a Democrat, resigned from his position as Assistant U.S. Attorney to accept this new role. He ran against Ann Wagner for Congress back in 2018 and lost by about 4 percentage points. A proposed bill to create a bounty hunter program in Missouri to pay people to turn in illegal aliens is getting some pushback. David Gregory, a state representative just elected to the state Senate, introduced the bill earlier this week. Gregory wants to pay Missourians up to $1,000 if they turn someone in and that person is arrested. A local attorney reacted saying, quote, "This is Nazi Germany stuff." Planned Parenthood will be in a Missouri courtroom today asking for the courts to knock down bans they now believe are unconstitutional after Amendment 3 passed in November. That amendment, which means abortion with no restrictions in Missouri, is set to take effect tomorrow. If the judge rules in favor of Planned Parenthood, abortions could begin here in the state as soon as Thursday. The court hearing is set for 1:30 this afternoon in Kansas City. It is coming up on 7:05 and 34 degrees at 97.1 FM Talk. In sports, Blues beat the Jets last night on the road 4-1. Game 2 of their Western Canadian road trip is Thursday, and that'll be against the Calgary Flames. Hey, a win for Mizzou basketball last night against Cal Berkeley. The final score, 98-93. And you may have seen this. Rumors are now swirling that Nolan Arenado could be heading to the Dodgers. That's because the first baseman posted to Instagram, and on that Instagram post, he used a song that's called Dodger Blue. No official word yet from the Cards. 7:05 the time right now. Temperature is 34 degrees. You're listening to 97.1 FM Talk.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
You know, not a bad commute this morning. We actually look pretty good. I'm looking at the Cordell and Cordell domestic litigation firm cameras. Eastbound 6440 out of Prospect, and periodically there is some just call it moderate volume, but it kind of comes and goes. It's really not bad. 70 eastbound looks great from out west into downtown. We've got moderate volume along northbound 270. It's in pockets between 55 and Doherty Ferry. And if you are headed in from Illinois, there is some volume on the Poplar Street Bridge, mainly just approaching it for the length of it. It's not terrible. It's just a little bit of volume there today. The other bridges look fine at this hour if you want to try them. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas. It's 7:06 at 97.1 FM Talk.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Lots of sunshine on this Wednesday, and the winds have turned to the south. Now, it's chilly out the door, but we are breezy and warmer this afternoon. Pretty close to 50 degrees. That will feel pretty good. Tonight, clear skies, windy and cold. The winds swing to the northwest, a cold front coming down. A couple of snow flurries, but that's about it. 19. Thursday, just plain cold, though lots of sunshine. 28. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
7:07 and 34 degrees. You can listen to the Marc Cox or any show on 97.1 FM Talk anytime or anywhere by downloading the free Odyssey app.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
The Marc Cox Morning Show.
I want to compliment your show on how fair and level-headed everything you guys talk about.
Who is this guy? He's saying what we've been saying forever.
Maybe what we need from a conservative standpoint is...
The Marc Cox Morning Show.
I respect that. We don't agree.
Listen to both sides.
This,
let's get it on,
is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
Hey, good Wednesday morning to you. Glad you're back with us here on the Marc Cox Morning Show. As we go along this morning, the voice is recovering a little bit. I had a serious frog in my throat at about 5 a.m. It still sounds a little raspy. I apologize for that, but I guess I'm going to have to blame my grandkids and kind of get used to this. I think they might have given me a little something this weekend. I don't know. We'll see. I feel fine, though, just for the record, Kim. Don't worry. I'll be here tomorrow, even if I sound like a frog.
You are sounding better than you were earlier.
Thank you. Enough coffee, enough hot coffee down the pipes, and I think I might have cleaned them out a little bit. That's positive. Coming up, we're going to get to our friend Genevieve Wood. She's, of course, with Heritage on a couple of issues. Number one, these Haitian immigrants. There was a lot of talk about them eating the pets and the ducks in the parks and all that in Springfield, Ohio. And there was never any hard evidence that wasn't happening. There were residents going to city council meetings claiming it was happening. You haven't heard much about it lately. What we have heard is that many of them are self-deporting now that there's a new sheriff who's going to be in town in 43 days or something like that. We can't come soon enough. He's having all kinds of impacts already. So we'll talk to Genevieve Wood about that. We got Kim on a Whim coming up. In the next hour, we're going to talk more about that growing reward fund for whoever shot that young man, Colin Brown, on I-55 in South St. Louis as he returned from a hockey game. We'll talk to my friend Karl Lund, who's one of the big contributors to that fund, and I appreciate him putting his money where his mouth is, for sure. All that's coming up right now. I want to get to our top stories, Karl.
The Marc Cox Short List.
Since October the 7th, and we've lacked a president that had the testicular fortitude to get our people back.
Yeah, Scott Jennings lighting them up over this because the people have been critical of Donald Trump threatening Hamas. Imagine that, a president threatening Hamas instead of Israel. Stunning.
Are you in favor of Kash Patel's FBI director, Congressman?
Of course. Yeah, we need disruptors. We need somebody to go in the FBI. And I say that as a former federal prosecutor.
Yeah, Chip Roy and I are on the same page this morning when it comes to this. We need a disruptor in some of these big bureaucracies, not somebody that's going to go along just to get along.
In other words, are you willing to commit to the American ideal that no one is above the law?
Absolutely, yes. I commit.
Yeah, that was 2020. Can you tell the difference in his voice even in over those 4 years? Wow. Joe Biden saying that he would commit to upholding the rule of law. He would never pardon Donald Trump. And then he turns around and issues a blanket 11-year pardon for anything his son Hunter, crack addict, a former crack addict, might have done during those 11 years.
Someone here illegally is prohibited from voting in any election. It also keeps a person from receiving any permit or license to drive, receiving any public benefit, and becoming a legal resident.
Yeah, that is David Amilati over Channel 4. I scoured the local news channels yesterday for stories on this. David Gregory, the incoming senator in the 15th, has apparently pre-filed a bill that would put a bounty on illegals. And the media is replying with utter shock to this. How dare you could pay somebody to catch somebody doing something illegal? This is far different than what they did in Australia or what Sam Page wanted to have you do in St. Louis County, reporting on your neighbor if they were violating a COVID law, right? A COVID rule, a restriction he put in place. This is something that's been done in this country for years. Law enforcement was offered a bounty when my father-in-law was a police officer for 37 years in St. Louis County. For much of his career, if they were out on the beat and they encountered somebody who was not a citizen of the U.S., they could get it like a $25, I think it was at the time, it was $25 when he was in his early years in his career, if you took him down and dropped him off at the ICE office. So they could be deported. And now we reply with utter shock that somebody would suggest we should put a bounty on illegal, particularly criminal illegal aliens. Because your average person is not going to go out and become a bounty hunter. You're not going to be Dog the Bounty Hunter. It's a dangerous profession. What this law would do would license people who are already like bail bondsmen and things like that to go out and catch some of these folks because let's face it, ICE is not going to be able to do it alone. What if they've renamed that agency, didn't they? I don't even think it's called Immigrations and Customs Enforcement anymore. It seems like they come up with some new politically correct name for it. Hell, I don't know. Doesn't matter. Customs and Border Patrol they won't have the manpower to round up every one of these folks. They just won't have the manpower.
I think this is an interesting idea, but I don't see it passing.
It might not. I mean, but it starts the conversation. Maybe some form of it passes.
Yeah, maybe some form of it passes.
If you assist in catching a criminal alien, what's the difference if you got a reward for it, right? And we're going to talk about a reward that's being issued to try to catch a criminal that shot a 15-year-old boy on I-55. Was he 15 or 16? I'm sorry, 16, I think. What's the difference?
Well, the fear on the part from the illegal would be enough to maybe make them want to leave if they realize that this is a possibility where someone is incentivized with actual $1,000 in this case, a reward to go find them and turn them in. So that might it's kind of like the way Trump is approaching things, where the fear from some of these
tariff.
foreign leaders, a tariff, or the fear, from Hamas not releasing the hostages might just be enough, just with words, knowing it's out, the threat is out there for them to take action. So you don't even have to take the action. It's the threat of the action.
And somebody might argue, well, but this has always kind of been there, that fear. But here's what the difference is going to be this time. Under the Barack Obama administration and under the Joe Biden, Kamala Harris administration, if you were deported, if they actually carried through with the deportation and they flew you back to your home country and dropped you off at the airport, within a couple of weeks, you could be back in the U.S. because the border's wide open. You could just walk back up here. That will not be the case when the new sheriff takes over, January 20th. They're going to start shutting that border down. Mm-hmm. So if you leave now you might have a better shot, right? Get back across the border before you get caught.
Right.
Because if you get caught, you won't be allowed to legally apply to come back in. But if you leave now and go back to your home country and try to do it the proper way, like Evelyn, who we had on the air here. If you missed that interview before the election, you need to go back and search for it. We interviewed an immigrant who came here from Liberia. It took her years. I talked to my friend the other day who cuts my hair. She immigrated here from Russia. It took her years. They weren't even planning on leaving Russia, but they applied for the visa, and after a number of years, their name popped up, and they took advantage of it, and they moved to the United States, and they're thankful that they did.
Yep. Here's a question, though. If let's just theoretically say, for argument's sake, that this actually goes through.
Yeah.
Where would this money come from? Because I'm looking at the bill summary right now, and I don't see that. I mean,
that's a fair question. The question is how many people would actually earn it?
yes, because just
turning
someone in is not enough. That
Yeah.
person actually has to be arrested.
Yeah, I don't even know how you would quantify that. How do you come up with a quantity of money that you'd have to initially seed it with some amount of cash in case you had to pay out of it. But it's an interesting concept for sure. Trying to get David Gregory to join us and talk about this, and I'm hoping he's on vacation. He just texted me back, in fact, and maybe tomorrow morning he said he might be able to join us.
Great.
So we're looking forward to that. All right, coming up, we'll get to Genevieve Wood, talk more about illegals, by the way, who may already be self-deporting. We're back in just a minute.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
Well, we've got an accident right now on the ramp from southbound 55 onto Bates. And they've closed down the ramp here for a minute to try to get this cleared. We've got a fire truck on the scene, and there was just an ambulance. So if you are southbound on 55, if you could just avoid taking the ramp to Bates, that is your best bet. Now, other than that, it hasn't been bad this morning. Now, we have had some volume out there, but nothing too terrible. There's some moderate volume for the length of the Poplar Street Bridge. We've got a little bit of moderate volume northbound 55 at Bayless, and in pockets on northbound 270 between 55 and Manchester. 44 is in really good shape this morning out west into downtown. 64, a little slow at Prospect, and periodically you'll see some moderate volume east of Winghaven. 70, though, is in really good shape. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas, 718 at 97.1 FM Talk.
Hey, you know what? One of the oldest companies in the area is the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. When we roll the clock over to 2025, they will have been in business for 99 years. They started up in 1926, so that's not hard math to do, is it? They are a fantastic company. Can't imagine how many garage doors they've installed, probably originally built themselves and installed in the greater St. Louis area, and they service all of them, whether they installed it or not, which is great. I looked at their website, overheaddoorstlouis.com. They're currently hiring as well. So if you're one of those individuals who's handy and you're looking for a job, call my friends at the Overhead Door Company. Great company to work with. They always provide same-day service 7 days a week. That's why you need their phone number in your phone. 314-781-5200. That's 314-781-5200 or overheaddoorstlouis.com.
What's it going to take for you to realize the IRS is in full-blown attack mode, and if you have IRS issues, your timely response is critical? Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. We certainly know the IRS has ramped up efforts because we're seeing a lot more clients with threats of intents to seize property or levy rights to property. If you have IRS issues, call the Lance Drury Firm today. Today, don't wait. Those IRS notices have hard deadlines for exercising your appeal rights. If you miss the deadline, your rights to to a legal appeal are gone. Let the Land Story Law Firm get between you and the IRS today, and we'll help you manage your case to achieve the best outcome. IRS problems are serious legal matters, so call Land Story Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Don't wait. Call 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120, and schedule your free consultation with me, Lance Drury, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
This holiday season, save $30 on the GTA 26 handheld garden pruner, now just $149.99. Visit your local Steel dealer today or shop online at steelusa.com. Offer valid for a limited time, only at participating dealers while supplies last.
Working hard to pay for everyone else's entitlements. This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
President Trump is clear. Out of the gate, we're concentrating on public safety threats and national security threats. What politician, whether you're a mayor or governor, is saying, no, I want public safety threats to remain in my community? I mean, give me a break.
The stars at night are big and bright, deep in the heart of Texas.
Our friend Genevieve Wood back with us from the Heritage Foundation. Genevieve, how are you this morning?
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, Tom Homan is changing minds across America. I saw where Eric Adams yesterday said, I can't wait to sit down with him. Call me what you want, but I'm going to protect my community. I think it's fascinating. Yeah. I think it's fascinating to see the impact Donald Trump has had 40 days before he gets sworn in as president. I mean, this is it's something else.
Well, changing minds, changing hearts, importantly, changing behaviors. You're right. Whether it's mayors like Mayor Adams in New York City, or whether it's illegal immigrants that are here that are already beginning to say, you know what, maybe I need to rethink the situation. And either I need to deport myself and make it easier on myself and decide where I want to go, or I wait around and let Donald Trump do it. But what it is showing is that people actually believe him, and it shows that policies and what you state about a policy impacts people. I mean, the reason people have been coming here is because they've known the Biden and Harris administration have said, come on in. I mean, that's what their actions have shown. They haven't put the sign up, but basically their actions and policies have said, come on in. If you do, you will be able to stay, and we're not going to do anything about it, except we're going to give you housing and meal tickets and all sorts of other goodies. So, you know, as I've always said, people coming here illegally are not stupid people. Many of them are probably very good people who just want a better life for themselves.
Right.
But instead of having to do it the right way, have been given the easier path. And guess what? They took it. Now they're realizing, because they're not dumb, that maybe that easy path isn't going to be so easy after all. And they're also seeing, we just had a story on this in the Daily Signal, a new poll out showing more Americans today are supporting Trump putting forth a deportation plan and making it a priority than they were even before the election.
Yeah.
So I think people are also seeing it's not just him. It's like the American people want this.
And they're not just, and I don't know whether to be happy or sad about this. Some are self-deporting. Others are fleeing to Chicago and New York and these places that are claiming they're going to be sanctuary cities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, well, because I think at least maybe I'll get a longer time here. But again, if you listen to Tom Homan, and I take the man at his word, I've been around Tom several times over the last 4 to 7 years, and this man doesn't mess around. No. He's very serious about his job and his work,
right.
And he's very clear on what the law is. And the law says you cannot use police officers to try to stop federal officers from doing their job.
Even Eric,
and so if the mayor of Denver wants to try to do that, he's going to run into some trouble.
I think even, some of these Democrats are coming around. Like you said, these polls are showing that more and more people are seeing this as a good thing for our country. The mayor of New York City, Eric Adams, was talking about this yesterday, saying, I'm going to work with President Trump. I think this is something that we need to do. We need to get these illegals out of here, especially if they've committed crimes. Forget this whole sanctuary city nonsense that some of these mayors, like the Denver mayor you just mentioned, Genevieve, are trying to play that card, saying we're going to protect them.
Yeah.
Put me in jail.
Well, the mayor is one thing, but what about the citizens of these cities? The citizens of Chicago, of Denver, of New York, these are the very people that are seeing some of the worst crimes committed by illegal immigrants. They're the ones seeing their streets taken over, their hotels, the housing going up. They're the ones seeing some of the worst of it because they're sanctuary cities, and that's where a lot of these illegal immigrants have gone. Mm-hmm. So I think the mayors are going to have a tough time maybe with their own citizens getting cooperation on this.
Yeah, another article I spotted in the Daily Signal yesterday was the one about DEI and how it might actually have made America meaner.
Yeah. The amazing thing is, isn't it amazing when you have to spend money on a study to find out what everybody with common sense already knows?
Thank you.
If you teach everybody around you that everybody around you is a racist, guess what? Everybody around you starts thinking everybody's a racist, and they start treating each other worse. Which is basically what this new study shows. I would encourage people to go read it. And what's also interesting about it, the New York Times and Bloomberg were apparently all set up to report on this new study until the findings came out. And then all of a sudden, no interest in the study, and they decided at the highest levels of their editorial board chain not to talk about it. But it's a very basic study where they, have control groups, and they have one group read all the kind of DEI, all the big books on DEI and their philosophy and passages from them. And they have another group just read nothing to do with racism articles. Then they give them examples of students who are applying for universities, and do you see any racism in the application process? And not surprising, those who read all the DEI stuff found out that the admissions officers were racist and that they were anti-Islamic and the whole thing. And it's like, when you go back and read the examples they gave them, there was no mention of race at all.
Yep.
In the example.
It's
because you've been influenced to find it under every bed, right? You've been influenced to find it wherever you look, and so people start looking like that. This is bad stuff, and I'm glad a lot of it may be hopefully going away.
Genevieve Wood, thank you. I direct people to heritage.org or dailysignal.com. Thank you.
Thanks, Mark, Kim.
Yep, take care. We appreciate it. Always love having you on. Coming up, we're going to get to my friend Karl Lund, who's offering money in the shooting of that teenager.
Local news can come at you fast. Want the latest on what's happening in your backyard? Download the free Odyssey app. Follow your local news station, and you'll get alerts on the top stories making headlines in your city. You can stay in the know, no matter what you're up to, and be among the first to find out when news breaks. Plus, keep tabs on weather and traffic, so you're never caught off guard. To get started, download the Odyssey app. That's AUDACY, and follow your local news station.
Well, I hope that when you were around your loved one for the holidays, for Thanksgiving, maybe you had an opportunity to observe their surroundings. They live by themselves. Are they looking disheveled? Are they keeping up with their personal care? Are they struggling to, feed themselves nutritious food, get 3 meals a day, take their pills? These are signs they might need senior living. And when you go to do that search, you will go in person and you'll tour these different places. I want you to go to Hampton Manor, Wentzville, a premier senior living community. You're going to love it. It's like a resort. It's out at the Lake St. Louis exit at Highway 70. I mentioned this. They just had their grand opening not quite a year ago, so it's brand new, a big studio, 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom units, even a memory care neighborhood. When you go out there, they're going to feed you lunch. Be sure and tell them that you heard Marc Cox talking about this on 97.1. In fact, you can schedule your tour anytime. Just go online to WentzvilleAssistedLiving.com.
Here's another great reason to use the United States Postal Service this season. When sending a package, why venture outside? Ship with USPS for a true holiday ride. Want to stay cozy and warm? There's no need to roam. With free package pickup and labels printed from home. We have over 600,000 employees always in motion. And before you know it, your gift has delivered emotion. Spread the holiday joy this season with USPS's Enhanced Network. Learn more at USPS.com/holidayride.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Lots of sunshine on this Wednesday, and the winds have turned to the south. Now, it's chilly out the door, but we are breezy and warmer this afternoon. Pretty close to 50 degrees. That will feel pretty good. Tonight, clear skies, windy and cold. The winds swing to the northwest, a cold front coming down. A couple of snow flurries, but that's about it. 19. Thursday, just plain cold, though lots of sunshine, 28. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Good morning for 97.1 FM Talk. I'm Kim St. Ange. 34 degrees now at 7:30. A Missouri man was put to death last night for raping and murdering a 9-year-old girl in 2007 after Governor Mike Parson denied his request for clemency. Christopher Collings was given the lethal injection in Bonne Terre. In his final statement, he wrote, "To anyone that I've hurt in this life, I am sorry. I hope that you were able to get closure and move on." He added, "I hope to see you in heaven one day." A Webster University student who sued to get her money back after the school closed during COVID may actually get some. The university agreed to a $250,000 settlement, meaning full-time students during the spring 2020 semester could get reimbursed for parking, housing, and other fees. A judge, though, still needs to approve this settlement, and a date for that hearing has not yet been set. In sports, Blues beat the Jets last night 4-1. Game 2 of their Western Canadian road trip Thursday against the Calgary Flames. A win for Mizzou basketball last night against Cal Berkeley. Final score was 98-93. I'm Kim St. Ange for 97.1 FM Talk.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
After a whirlwind year, bring peace back to your home. Enjoy 10% off Mosby remodeling projects or no payments until 2026. Call 314-909-1800 by December 31st. Mosby Building Arts, bringing joy home.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
Hey, on the roads this morning, I'll tell you what, we have looked pretty good. And then we had that accident southbound 55 at Bates, and it's on the ramp to Bates. The accident itself, and they've had to close down the ramp to try to get that cleared. A couple of MoDOT vehicles there, and it looks like we have a vehicle off the ramp itself. So if you are southbound on 55 this morning, do not take that ramp. By the way, northbound 55, just the usual volume in that area, kind of around Bayless. Northbound 270, slow pockets on the mainly northbound side, but we had a little bit of southbound earlier. But this is between 55 and Manchester. If you're southbound on 270, moderate volume at Ladue Road. We've got eastbound 70 still looking good from out west into downtown. Southbound 61 is jammed at 70 or 64 this morning. Then eastbound 64 slowing at Prospect, a little bit past Winghaven, Lindbergh, and Big Bend. If you are headed in from Illinois, there's some moderate volume right now crossing the Poplar Street Bridge. This report brought to you by Mosby Building Arts. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas, 733 and 97.1 FM Talk.
All right, let's talk about where you go when it's time to buy your favorite drink. Is if you haven't been to Macadoodles, if you live anywhere west, you need to get out there. Bryan and Fozzie Road in Darden Prairie. I love this store. I love the fact that we have one of these in the greater St. Louis area now because they're all over the state. I saw one in Branson when I was down there. I know they're in Columbia. They're all over the state of Missouri. This is the first one in the greater St. Louis area. Mike McKenna's done such a great job out there because each individual franchisee, they put their own stamp on it. Mike McKenna, former NHL goaltender, he's the managing partner. Brady Cook is a part owner in this. You are going to love Macadoodles. It's got a huge atrium area for wine tasting, over 2,500 wines, and a lot of them are the high-end wines that are kind of hard to find. So you're going to want to talk to them about that. Go in and sample what they have. Find your favorite. And, of course, the bourbon, the tequila. Mike loves to surprise people with some of the allocation bourbons and just drop them on the shelf on occasion. So you never know what you might find when you walk in the door. Go check him out. Tell him you heard Marc Cox talking about it. Again, Macadoodles.com at Bryan and Fozzie Road.
We know you've got an interesting take on things. You can tell us by clicking the microphone button next to Listen Live when you're on the Odyssey app. Record a short message for us to hear when you tune into 97.1 on the Odyssey app.
Been hearing so long about government mandates all these years. It's coming true unless something changes this year yet. Then maybe it could be stopped. If not, homeowners, if you need an air conditioner, if your air conditioner is old now, get the equipment that you can still get before they say you can't have it. Not to scare you, they scared you. I'm just saying the equipment we have right now, unbelievably better than what you have because your equipment's 15 or 20 or 30 or 40 years old. So if you're looking and if your system's that old or if people are saying it's old and you new, I'm not going to waste your time. But if you call me, one easy number in Missouri and Illinois, the easiest of numbers. All right. So it's not the easiest. I have forgotten the number, even as many times as I put it up. But 314-293-2600 or go to the internet, bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Being first in line can be very important to homeowners. First in line for the plumber, first in line for the HVAC guy, first in line at Banner Construction for new James Hardy fiber cement siding next spring. It may be winter now, but you can be first in line for spring and save before the annual price increases. Banner Construction is a James Hardy and Pella window replacement specialist, and this is the best time to schedule a free in-home consultation with no obligation. Call 314-569-1050 or check out bannerconstruction.com today.
Nourishment for your mind. Marc Cox.
Now, in terms of the overall Europe and how our national security footprint is, European NATO allies need to do their fair share of defense. We can't provide blanket security for the entire world. I think our biggest threat to our national security is the rise of China. We're not adequately resourced in that part of the world. We're going to do something about it.
That is Ron DeSantis when he was running for president. In case you were wondering, that was back in December of 2023. And now the story circulating today is that if Pete Hegseth does not survive the day on Capitol Hill, if enough of these senators have decided that the fake stories that are being put out there to try to deride the guy, claiming he was drinking on the set at Fox, and even though his co-anchors have both flatly denied it, and the allegations by some former, I guess, lover of his that she was assaulted, and there were never any charges filed, and he's claimed that it was consensual. These are the things they're trying to use to run him off. And the rumor is that Ron DeSantis is Trump's next pick, if indeed that happens. Mm-hmm. I don't know if DeSantis has agreed to it, but I have a hard time believing they would float the name out there if he hadn't.
I guess. I know Joni Ernst, the senator from Iowa, was also mentioned as a potential replacement if Pete Hegseth doesn't stick. Senator Lindsey Graham was talking about he feels like there's enough stuff. There are enough allegations against Hegseth at this point that he feels like he'd have a hard time getting confirmed by the Senate. And maybe that's the case. And really, that's what a lot of, especially people on the left who are really angry with some of these picks Trump has made, that's ultimately what they want. If they can talk about this enough and get enough people, and in this case, senators, riled up about it, they don't stand a chance. Even if they are innocent, maybe Matt Gaetz falls under that category. Maybe Hegseth does too. I don't know. But it doesn't really matter, because if you have enough people talking about it and questioning it, it becomes a distraction, and then they're just not going to get confirmed.
But they tried to do this with Kavanaugh, and they tried to do it with Gorsuch. They tried to do it with Amy Coney Barrett.
Yep, it's true.
Where there's a will, there's a way. The new Senate isn't even seated yet. I don't understand why Trump would pull Hegseth before it even got to the point where he was going in to actually be interviewed by these senators.
But maybe Hegseth withdraws. Like, for example, Trump made this DEI pick DEA.
Yes.
Chad
Similar.
Chronister, who's the Hillsborough County, Florida sheriff, and he just withdrew the nomination and said, hey, look, he claims that, there's more to do in Hillsborough County. Well, I think it was because there was so much pushback, he just didn't feel like dealing with it.
Conservatives were pretty critical of him for arresting people during COVID for supposedly violating laws, a pastor, and
absolutely,
and other things like that. And I think he saw the writing on the wall. I don't know if Hegseth gives up. Trump may ask him to step down. We'll see. I thought that was interesting, though. If you go back to some of the things DeSantis said, he was bragging at the time that he was the only veteran running for president and that he understands the military. Listen to part of his comments then.
As commander-in-chief, we'll make sure I'm the only veteran running for president. So I understand the military. I understand our posture. I also understand what goes into deploying troops overseas. And it's not something I'm going to do willy-nilly and hope to never have to do it. But China is eating our lunch right now, and Europe is not doing what they need to do. So I'm going to ensure that they do their fair share. I think.
Yeah, so I play that in part because you might hear Ron DeSantis' name pop up throughout the day as a possibility for defense secretary. But think about what's going on. I made this point earlier, and I think it's an important one. We're in the situation we're in today in Ukraine directly because of Bill Clinton and Barack Obama and Joe Biden, period. Those Democrats screwed it up. Clinton got Ukraine to agree to give up its nuclear weapons years ago for a promise that Russia wouldn't invade them and that they wouldn't join NATO. That was the agreement. And now suddenly everybody's pushing for Ukraine to join NATO, like as a thumb in the eye to the Russians. And you just have to understand where the problems start. On top of that, I thought this was interesting. NATO, of course, has its own military. They're supposed to contribute to their own defense. Remember what happened back in Trump's first term when he went over there and he scared the living hell out of them by saying, we might pull out of NATO if you don't fund it more. Why is the U.S. paying for this? And, the media, how dare he say something like this? So today, earlier this morning, MSNBC got on the NATO Secretary General, a guy named Marc Rutte, R-U-T-T-E, and they thought they had their perfect foil here for somebody who would criticize Donald Trump. Listen to the way he handled the answer to this question by the MSNBC anchor this morning. Listen.
Mr. Secretary General, in 2018, then President Donald Trump at a meeting at NATO headquarters in Brussels came this close to pulling the United States out of that organization. He has repeatedly criticized NATO since then. How is the alliance preparing for his return?
But he was right in 2018 when he said that we had to spend more. And I think it is thanks to Donald Trump that NATO, when you would for a second exclude the US, is now at the 2%, which was agreed in 2014. But not a lot happened between 2014 until Donald Trump came on board in 2016, 2017. And since then, we have massively on the European side increased our defense spending. So this is thanks to Donald Trump, but we need to do more.
Countries have to pull their weight.
Well,
otherwise, what's the point of us being in there if we're always going to be the ones expected to pull more for these other countries?
And this guy went on to say that he thinks the European Union and the NATO needs to do more to help Ukraine. And so he's not 100% in support of Trump wanting to end the war tomorrow. But it still wasn't the reaction that anchor was hoping for. He hoped the guy would come out and doom and gloom. Donald Trump's coming back into office. This guy's playing his cards because he knows Donald Trump's coming back into office, and he's saying nice things about him now. I don't think he's a huge fan of Trump, but he does like the fact that if not for us throwing our weight around, a lot of those NATO countries, we empower them by overpaying for NATO's expenses to instead redirect to all their liberal, progressive, left-wing policies that they have throughout Europe.
We're enabling them.
We enable them.
It's like you have a drinker and you're the one saying, well, I feel bad. I want to make sure I give them, you can't enable somebody with any situation in life, but you could apply it to what we're talking about here with NATO.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of these Democrats, Joe Biden included, we've enabled the other countries. So they would be stupid not to take advantage of that. You almost can't even blame the other countries.
One more example here of the impact Trump is having before he even gets sworn back in, because they know what a patsy they've got in Joe Biden. They can get away with anything they want. He doesn't have a spine. Imagine like the Joy Reid bite that I played for you, where Joy is mad that Donald Trump is throwing his weight around, and she called him a bully. Listen.
Donald Trump. He's not even president yet, and he's already spending his time sitting in his golden palace, Mar-a-Lago, muscling other countries like he's Tony Soprano with a social media site. Doing things like, reportedly, debating whether or not to invade Mexico. Threatening BRICS countries, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, with 100% tariffs if they don't commit to trading in dollars and not their own currencies. Demanding Hamas release all hostages being held in Gaza before his inauguration, or there will be, quote, all hell to pay in the Middle East.
Imagine that. A president of the United States threatening terrorists. I wouldn't be surprised to see some of those hostages released before he takes office. Because before, they knew in Joe Biden they had somebody that would give them latitude. Donald Trump's not going to do that.
He'll back up his words with action.
Yeah, wait till U.S. Special Forces are on the ground in Gaza. Then they're going to wish they'd paid attention. Coming up, what are we whimming about today?
Well, an Idaho business owner says her companies are dropping like flies because of this rant that she posted, a political rant on social media. We're going to play part of that rant for you when we come back.
All right, back in a minute.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
Well, on the roads this morning, we've generally looked okay. I mean, there have been a couple of issues. One was an accident on the ramp from southbound 55 to Bates. That's probably still an area that you can avoid, or at least don't take that ramp at this hour. Yeah, they're still there dealing with, looks like, a vehicle off the roadway and possibly a vehicle that was on fire earlier. We've got a stall reported westbound 6440 before McKnight. Watch for that one on the right shoulder. We've really picked up volume here in the last 15 or so minutes. If you are northbound on 55, there's a slowdown ramping on to northbound 270, a slowdown at Bayless. Northbound 270, slow pockets between 55 and Manchester. Southbound is lining up at Ladue Road. We've got eastbound 40 slowing at Prospect, at Clarkson, and then from 270 in pockets through Big Bend. Westbound slowing near Hampton, out through McCausland. And eastbound 70 has some slow-moving traffic in the O'Fallon area, just approaching the Blanchette Bridge at 270. And now we have some volume westbound. There's road work going on. Westbound 270 as you head for the Chain of Rocks Bridge, and we've got a jam that goes back to Route 3. This report brought to you by New Perspective Senior Living of Weldon Spring. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas. 747 at 97.1 FM Talk.
Hey, it's Marc Bearden for New Perspective Senior Living in Weldon Spring. This brand new facility offers state-of-the-art independent or assisted living and memory care, and now has holiday specials on select apartments. Visit npseniorliving.com or call today to schedule a free lunch to experience senior living redefined for yourself.
Well, you know, this holiday season is here, and it's time to get your friends, your family together, all the fun of that. You want to keep your home warm and cozy. So you need probably a routine checkup from my friends at Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation just to make sure it's ready to go. We might have single digits tomorrow, and you can heat your home safely and efficiently this winter for as little as $19 a month with their preferred partner plan. That includes 2 HVAC checks every year, service, repair, and equipment discounts, and priority service. So when you call, your name's at the top of the list. How about that? You keep it running efficiently. You extend its life because you're getting proper maintenance, and you've got the backing of a fantastic company that's won the Better Business Bureau Torch Award from the Better Business Bureau back in 2020, and they are in thousands of 5-star reviews on top of that. You can even give that as a gift of $19 a month for the preferred partner plan from Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Go online today to aircomfortservice.com.
The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Hunter Hayden.
You said Punter Hayden was pardoned by President Bo Biden.
Yeah. Actually, wait a second. That is a direct quote from Joe Biden.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
And a lot of people, when they come in, they'll say, I'm usually much more active, but since I've been in pain, I've had to limit the activities I'm doing.
You're listening to Janelle, an arch support specialist at the Good Feet store.
So he came in and he wanted to be able to keep up, play sports with his kids. And from there, we figure out which arch supports complement those activities. I fit him with the arch supports, and as I followed up with him, he's messaged me and said, I took my kids to the park today. We're walking, we're exercising, riding the bikes, and those are all things that he wasn't doing before because he was in pain.
For over 25 years, the Good Feet store's arch support specialists have been helping folks to live the life they love without foot, knee, hip, or back pain getting in the way.
Our goal is to have that long-term change for them. That's what's most important, is knowing that you leave an impact on someone's life. And I like that.
Try them for yourself. Stop in for a free personalized fitting and test walk at the Good Feet store.
Visit one of our 2 locations, Creve Coeur and Shiloh, Illinois, and at goodfeet.com.
Make holiday magic this year with something beautiful and timeless from Diamonds Direct. A stunning eternity band, a pair of classic diamond stud earrings, something new and eye-catching from a world-class designer, or maybe you're looking for that perfect engagement ring or a fabulous timepiece. At Diamonds Direct, we have the perfect gifts for the season, starting at around $500. Come and let our experts help you pick out that headliner gift, or for some fabulous ideas, see the online seasonal gift guide now at diamondsdirect.com. You can even chat now with a virtual assistant for the ultimate convenience. Whether you connect online or in person, you're guaranteed to get the extraordinary value, ironclad warranties, and white glove service Diamonds Direct is known for. And to help make your purchase even more affordable, we've got special financing so you can spread out your payments. Get directions, details, special showroom hours, and our holiday gift guide now at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
In the know. The Marc Cox Morning Show. Kim on a whim.
Well, an Idaho beauty salon owner is taking some major heat, says customers are dropping like flies after she posted this video, I guess, on TikTok, just going off on anybody who supported Donald Trump, calling him racist, homophobic, misogynistic. And she's saying that Trump basically gave small men the ability and the courage to be misogynistic and hateful.
Trump is 6'4". What small men is she talking about?
I'm not going to answer that question.
Maybe that's what she's talking about. I don't know.
I want to play part of this rant for you that's now gone viral. And keep in mind, I can only select this section of it because the other part she's cursing.
She's cursing.
So here you go. This is Tiffany Prickett or Pricknit, something like that. Tiffany Prickett. She owns a salon in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Here we go.
I know why more men don't come to defense of women. I don't know why men witness aggressions towards women and they just stand idly by and do nothing. I don't understand it.
Mark, can you respond to that, please?
I don't know what she's talking about. What is she talking about? Is she is she referring back to the stories of like, I don't know, Trump, the grabbing, prior to the 2016 election? Is that what she's talking about?
I guess. Here's the thing. You have every right, in this case, as a business owner, to say what you want. But know that your words have consequences. So your customers can say, I'm going to more or less support you. Choose who I'm going to support with my dollar.
Right.
Right? So she says she's had, for example, 15-year clients say, I'm not coming back. There was one person, I guess, who sent her husband back to the salon to demand a refund for gift cards that had already been purchased because they didn't like the rant and said, look, I'm not comfortable being now in your salon knowing that this is how you feel. So she can't be upset when people tell her, forget you, I'm not going to be supporting your business.
Well, she hates Trump, and she said she'd rather not have these people as clients, even if it means losing her business. She would rather go to work at Chipotle than allow Trump supporters to feel comfortable in her salon.
Well, have fun rolling up those burritos, knowing that other staff members at your salon are also going to be out of jobs and maybe rolling burritos next to you.
Her website is no longer active.
It says the site is currently private. I'm assuming that's because she received so much backlash. I mean, people are just ripping her on social media, as they should to a degree, because this is just a ridiculous comment.
We do have part of her audio here.
You could put half of Trump supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables. The racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic, you name it.
Well, that's the thing. A lot of these people on the left in particular, conservatives, we do it too, but a lot of them on the left, they hear other people like Hillary Clinton saying those things, and they don't even really look into it themselves. They just say, well, yeah, that sounds good. I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go with homophobic for 500, please.
Yeah. Ask the Camping World CEO about that when he derided Trump and said he'd rather not have Trump customers at his business. And suddenly business dropped so much he was having to lay people off, and he had to come out and apologize and say he wanted them to come back.
Now you've affected other people's livelihoods.
That was a few years ago, but yeah.
Go ahead and say this stuff, but one of the most effective ways to voice your opinion is to choose where you give your business.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why it's great to support conservative, in my case, Christian conservative businesses, because they respect my values. Of course, I go shop at places where I do not agree with their stance on different things.
Right.
But sadly, these days, it's very hard to find businesses that are not woke. I am encouraged, though, more and more companies, as we were just talking with Genevieve Wood from the Heritage Foundation at 7:20, if you want to listen on the Odyssey app, we were talking about how these DEI policies have made America meaner. In fact, I just saw Southwest Airlines, the latest company to ditch its DEI policies.
Along with, who else? Was it Walmart who did that last week? A
Lowe's,
couple of the big companies
I think
have
it was one of the companies that did.
Revised it. Because now they have permission to revise it, and they know the federal government's not coming after them if they're not imposing this silliness on
And
people.
if they don't revise it, Donald Trump may force them to revise it once he's inaugurated January 20th.
Yeah, imagine that. Meritocracy is back, baby. We love it. Coming up, we're going to get to my friend Karl Lund. He's one of the ones who's put his money where his mouth is. He's offering a reward for the killer of Colin Brown. And we're going to help him out to promote that a little bit coming up at about 8:20.
Are you worried about the state of the economy? Concerned about market crashes and rising inflation wiping out your savings? At Noble Gold Investments, we understand your fears and have a solution. Call us today at 1-888-403-1050. Imagine safeguarding you and your family with a tangible asset that has stood the test of time. Gold. With Noble Gold Investments, you can diversify your portfolio and protect your wealth from economic turmoil. Our team will guide you through the process, ensuring you make informed decisions that best suit your needs. Call Noble Gold Investments today at 1-888-403-1050. That's 1-888-403-1050. The future is uncertain. Take control now. Call 1-888-403-1050.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
It's Marc Reardon from my friends at Zero Res. Here's a question for you. You need to answer honestly. Is your home ready for the holidays? If you haven't had the carpets cleaned in a while, the answer is no, and this is the time to do something about it. And I have a great offer from my friends at Zero Res right now during the month of December. I've had Zero Res in my home so many times over the last decade. Unfortunately, a lot this year because of pet accidents. They can always help you in a pinch. But for some overall cleaning, getting your home ready for the holidays, maybe getting the gunk out of the air ducts, this is a great time to do it. Call Zero Res at 314-474-2020 or book online at ZeroResSTL.com. And the offer, when you mention my name or 97.1 FM Talk for the month of December, 3 rooms starting at $129, $75 off your air duct cleaning package. They have great customer service, a ton of crews, and the legendary 30-day Gotta Love It guarantee. Book your appointment today. You spell it backward or forward, it spells the same. Zero Res. Call 314-474-2020 or online, ZeroResSTL.com.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-987-6122. 800-987-6122. 800-987-6122.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Defending her son. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Penelope Hegseth, mother of Pete, a controversial Trump nominee for defense secretary, was just on Fox delivering this message to the president-elect.
I want to say thank you for your belief in my son.
Part of the scrutiny Pete Hegseth is under is an email his mother wrote in 2018 saying she has no respect for any man who belittles, lies, and cheats and sleeps around. But Penelope Hegseth just said that he's changed.
We all went back 7 years. We would see that maybe we were not the people we are today, but they were going through, Pete and his wife at the time were going through a very difficult divorce.
Well, Pete Hegseth is back at the Capitol today meeting with senators, but Fox's Jared Halpern reports.
There is increasing concern from the transition that Hegseth can't win confirmation amid allegations of workplace drinking and sexual misconduct.
So the president-elect is considering possible defense secretary replacements.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is being considered as a plan B for defense secretary. The Wall Street Journal also says President-elect Trump is considering Iowa Republican Joni Ernst for the position if Hegseth withdraws his nomination.
Matt Gaetz dropped out as Attorney General nominee weeks ago, and yesterday Chad Chronister, a Florida sheriff, withdrew as the Trump pick to lead the Drug Enforcement Administration. Chronister faced conservative pushback over his arrest during the pandemic of a pastor for holding church services in violation of COVID restrictions. The Supreme Court will take up a big case next hour, a challenge to a Tennessee law.
It prohibits doctors from performing gender reassignment surgery on children under the age of 18. It also prohibits prescribing puberty blockers and hormone therapy for gender reassignment.
Fox's Todd Pyro. The justice's ruling next year could affect similar laws in about 24 other states the critics call transgender discrimination. A Democrat has won the last House race that was too close to call for about a month. Adam Gray unseated Congressman John Duarte in California by 187 votes. Republicans, though, still will have the House majority next Congress. America's listening to Fox News.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Mommy, want to play a game with me and Dad?
Mommy's not feeling good.
You need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with DayQuil VapoCool. It's DayQuil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
Come on, honey. Let's let Mommy rest.
You guys are amazing. And so is DayQuil VapoCool.
DayQuil VapoCool, the vaporizing daytime coughing, aching, fever, power through your day medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Good morning, I'm Kim St. for 97.1 FM Talk. 34 degrees right now at 8:03. St. Louis County Executive Sam Page has chosen Court Van Ostrand to replace County Prosecutor Wesley Bell when he's sworn in as a U.S. House Representative in January. Page's decision comes shortly after Attorney General Andrew Bailey and Governor Mike Parson filed a lawsuit to keep Page from filling that vacancy, arguing the Constitution gives Parson the power to make the pick. Van Ostrand, who is a Democrat, resigned from his position as Assistant U.S. Attorney to accept this new role. He ran against Ann Wagner for Congress in 2018 and lost by about 4 points. A proposed bill to create a bounty hunter program in Missouri to pay people to turn in illegal aliens is getting some pushback. David Gregory, a state representative who was just elected to the state Senate, introduced the bill earlier this week. Gregory wants to pay Missourians up to $1,000 if they turn someone in and that person is arrested. A local attorney reacted to this, saying, "This is Nazi Germany stuff." Planned Parenthood will be in a Missouri courtroom today asking for the courts to knock down bans they now believe are unconstitutional after Amendment 3 passed in November. That amendment, which means abortion with no restrictions, is set to take effect tomorrow. If the judge rules in favor of Planned Parenthood, abortions could begin as soon as Thursday. That court hearing is set for 1:30 this afternoon in Kansas City. It is 8:04 and 34 degrees at 97.1 FM Talk. In sports, the Blues beat the Jets last night on the road 4-1. Game 2 of the Blues' Western Canadian road trip, it'll be Thursday against the Calgary Flames. Hey, a win for Mizzou basketball last night against Cal Berkeley. The final score was 98-93. And you may have seen this online already. Rumors are swirling right now that Nolan Arenado could be heading to the Dodgers. That's after the first baseman posted on Instagram. And on that post, he used a song called Dodger Blue. No official word yet from the Cards. 8:05 the time right now. Temperature is 34 degrees. You're listening to 97.1 FM Talk.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
Well, the biggest jam we have this morning in traffic is on westbound 270. And if you take that in from Illinois, we've got a parking lot between 203 and just kind of the eastern edge of the chain of Rocks Bridge. Now, this is all reportedly due to road work, but boy, is that causing a delay this morning. Also in North County, a stall eastbound 270 at New Florissant. Watch for that on the right side. If you are eastbound on 70, there's some moderate volume at Lake St. Louis Boulevard at 270, that kind of thing. 64 slowing out at Prospect, a little bit at Clarkson, and then pockets as you approach 270 all the way through Big Bend. Westbound lines up near Hampton, out through Hanley. Northbound 270, slow pockets 55 through Manchester. Southbound is slowing at Ladue Road. 55 northbound slowing at Bayless in the work zone. Looks like they've reopened the ramp from southbound 55 to Bates, but we do have a little bit of a slowdown on northbound 55 in that area, and then things open up. And there's some moderate volume westbound on the Poplar Street Bridge. This report brought to you by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas. 8:06 at 97.1 FM Talk.
My best friend Jenny came over for coffee, said it's cold enough in here to play hockey. Well, my furnace broken, it's already late. Call Jerry Kelly because they're open till 8, jerrykelly.com. They're fast and they're good and they got it going on. Jerry Kelly.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Lots of sunshine on this Wednesday, and the winds have turned to the south. Now, it's chilly out the door, but we are breezy and warmer this afternoon. Pretty close to 50 degrees. That will feel pretty good. Tonight, clear skies, windy and cold. The winds swing to the northwest. A cold front coming down. Couple of snow flurries, but that's about it. 19. Thursday, just plain cold, though lots of sunshine. 28. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
8:07 is the time, 34 degrees our current temperature. You can listen to the Marc Cox Morning Show or any other show on 97.1 FM Talk anytime or anywhere by downloading the free Odyssey app.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
The Marc Cox Morning Show.
Listen to both sides.
The bottom line is,
I respect that. We don't agree.
You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show.
Just to find a voice.
Who is this guy? He's saying what we've been saying forever.
I don't know how to put this.
Marc Cox.
I'm kind of a big deal.
Well, it adds excitement, doesn't it, folks?
Welcome back to the Marc Cox Morning Show. Welcome in the 8 o'clock hour here on this Wednesday morning. And a nice little warming trend today before the cold smacks us in the face. Tomorrow morning, apparently, some really cold wind chills are coming our way. So just enjoy today. If you got any yard work you had to do, I had to go outside in the snow yesterday. I trimmed a tree in my yard and just cut it back a little bit. And I had some limbs. I had to bundle them up in that snow and trudged through the front yard to get all that stuff to the curb this morning.
And you survived to tell us the tale this morning?
It was rough work, but, it would be nicer to do it today when it's going to be so much warmer.
People on the East Coast right now in New Hampshire, Massachusetts would be making fun of you for saying that.
Massachusetts.
Because they'll have a foot of snow and they think it's not much to write home about, and we have a couple inches and everyone's freaking out.
I didn't mind this. I don't mind a little bit of snow. I just don't want a foot of snow. Thank you very much. Hey, coming up, we'll talk to my friend Karl Lund. He is offering a $10,000 reward personally for information leading to an arrest in the murder of Colin Brown, the high school student, the hockey player who was killed on I-55. And I know that other people have contributed, and that reward is growing. So we're going to talk to Karl about that here in a few minutes. Taylor Riggs at the bottom of the hour, where maybe we get more into the whole Bitcoin story that we were talking about earlier and other ways you can invest in it if that's something you want to do now that it's $96,000 a coin. I don't even understand it. To be quite honest with you. And you had a good point, Kim. What if it all just goes away someday? I guess you'd want to be careful with that, with digital currency. But we'll talk to her about that in just a few minutes. But right now, I want to get to our top stories.
The Marc Cox Short List.
So we are, unbeknownst to most Americans, in a hot war with Russia, an undeclared war, a war you did not vote for and that most Americans don't want, but it is ongoing. And because of that war, because of the fact that the U.S. military is killing Russians in Russia right now, we are closer to nuclear war than at any time in history.
Yeah, Tucker Carlson reporting there from Moscow, where he's gone to interview, Sergei Lavrov, who's basically their Secretary of State, to find out more about tensions between the U.S. and Russia, because we have no relations with them at this moment.
You want to get angry? You read the Hallie Biden transcript, and that's Bo's widow.
Yes.
And essentially he turned her into a crack addict.
Yes, he did, and now there will be zero consequences for that action. However, it could end up backfiring on Joe Biden if they still investigate what happened with all of that foreign money that came into the U.S.
I hope that President Biden will also issue preemptive pardons to all of those people threatened by the injustice of what will become the Department of Justice.
Oh, the hypocrisy of the left. They used the DOJ to prosecute and persecute Donald Trump for years. Now they're worried that might come back to haunt them under a Trump administration.
I want to say is I am here to tell the truth. To tell the truth to the American people and tell the truth to the senators on the Hill, especially our female senators. I really hope that you will not listen to the media and that you will listen to Pete.
That, Kim St. Ange, was Penelope Hegseth. Penelope is in a bit of a quandary here because way back in 2018, when Pete was undergoing a pretty nasty divorce. Of course, when divorces get nasty, there are lots of allegations of wrongdoing. His mother wrote him a pretty scathing email about how disappointed she was in him for some of his actions surrounding that divorce and how he treated, I guess, his ex-wife, or I don't know who had the affair there. But she wrote a pretty scathing email. Somebody leaked that email about that specific divorce to the New York Times, and they published it.
Of course they did.
Because they want to do anything they can to damage Pete Hegseth. So Penelope Hegseth called up Fox News and said, I want to come on and explain my side of this. So this morning, they let her on the air to talk a little bit more about that. And Steve Ducey is the one that was doing the interview with her. So I just want to play a little bit of that of his question to her and what she had to say about it right off the top to try to, I don't know, lessen the blow and send a message to the people on Capitol Hill about the lies of the media and the fact that they're willing to do anything to damage a Trump appointee. Listen.
Somebody leaked it to the New York Times.
Correct.
And they printed it.
Correct.
I'm going to read part of it. You say, this is to Pete, during the 2018 divorce. You say, I have no respect for any man that belittles, lies, cheats, and sleeps around. And you go on and say, You are that man and have been for years. And as your mother, it pains me and embarrasses me to say that, but it is a sad, sad truth. You say, we still love you, but we are broken by your behavior and your lack of character. Mm-hmm. When you wrote that, what's the backstory? What was going on that made you so angry you wanted to write that?
Well, I will tell that story in a moment, but let me make two statements first, and one is to President Trump. And I want to say thank you for your belief in my son. We all believe in him. We really believe that he is not that man he was 7 years ago. I'm not that mother. And I hope people will hear that story today and the truth of that story. So the other thing I want to say is I am here to tell the truth to the American people and tell the truth to the senators on the Hill, especially our female senators. I really hope that you will not listen to the media and that you will listen to Pete.
Good for her. I mean, obviously she's defending her son, and she feels that some of the actions he'd taken then don't represent the man he is now 7 years later. And you know, but people do change. When you're airing dirty laundry from within a family, I'm sure that it was a pretty big embarrassment to Pete Hegseth, right? That, well, we have an email from your mom saying you're a lowlife.
Right.
Yeah. So she went on the air and did her best to explain it today on Fox and Friends. Will the other media talk to her? I don't know.
Well, I wonder if she would even be willing to. I guess she would. If the New York Times was willing to interview her, I would hope that she would say yes. Yes.
No, I agree. I mean, she can't take back the email now, and I'd love to know who leaked it. Who leaked it? Who had access to it that leaked it to her? His ex-wife, maybe?
Maybe. I don't even
Probably.
blame her for putting that email out there, not to the public, whoever leaked it, but I mean for her writing it, because she said, I still love you, but I'm really disappointed in you. And sometimes people need to hear that. You messed up. You screwed up. This isn't a reflection of who you are. We know you to be a better person, and we're going to hold you to a higher standard. And hopefully that was a kick in his rear end that helped him change to the man she says he is now, who she believes would make a good pick for defense secretary.
Yeah. Well, let's hope that let's hope message was received, and we'll see how this goes down. If not, apparently Ron DeSantis is waiting in the wings, we're told. Coming up, we're going to talk to my friend Karl Lund, who is a local businessman who has donated $10,000 toward a reward fund to find the person responsible for killing Colin Brown. It's right after the break.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
Good morning to you. Well, we've had some issues on the roads this morning, and that continues to be the case on westbound 270. If you are traveling on westbound 270, it's just a parking lot jam between 203 and the Chain of Rocks Bridge. We've got just some road work reported up there causing delays. Eastbound 70, moderate volume between the Blanchette Bridge and just past 270. We've got westbound 70 slowing at Jennings Station Road. We've got some volume westbound on the Poplar Street Bridge, visible there on the Cordell and Cordell domestic litigation firm cameras. If you are eastbound on 64, watch for some volume in pockets anywhere from Mason Road through Big Bend, and northbound 270 has slow pockets between 21 and Ladue Road. Northbound 55 slowing in the construction zone, especially really close to Rivas Barracks on up through about Arsenal before it looks better. Yep, this report is brought to you by me, and this is from the Window World Traffic Center. I'm Sue Thomas, 818. Thank you. Thank you very much. At 97.1 FM Talk.
I want to tell you about my friends at Grasser Electric, who, of course, do fantastic work. And, again, I tell you this with all of these people that do garage door work and furnace work and electrical work, you need to save their numbers in your phone, because when the emergency happens that you need an electrician and you really need an electrician, you don't have to go on social media and say, does anybody know a good electrician? Yeah, I do. It's a Grasser Electric. It's Shane Grasser and Josh Grasser and all the fine folks out there at Grasser. So here's the number, 636-441-5200. Just put it in your phone under electrical or electrician. And that's who you call when you have a problem. Maybe it's not an emergency. Maybe you're planning it. Maybe you're redoing the basement. You've got to get it wired properly to code. You don't want to risk a fire by doing it by yourself. You call Grasser Electric. They can help with all of that. I had them wire a hot tub for me at 2 different homes, and they, particularly at the first home, it passed inspection with flying colors, and because we had to do trenching around the bottom of it. So that was a big problem, and they were very complimentary of the work that Grasser Electric did. So call them today, 636-441-5200. Tell them Marc Cox sent you. It's GrasserElectric.com.
Download the Odyssey app to listen to 97.1 FM Talk and find content that moves you. Anytime, anywhere. The Odyssey app for 97.1 FM Talk on the go.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
If you've been injured in a car wreck, you need the best. Onderlaw, voted 2023's best law firm in St. Louis. We know how to handle the insurance companies, and we'll make sure you're compensated for physical, emotional, and financial injuries. Let us make your case our cause. Car accident? Call Onderlaw today for a free review. 314 or 618-9-million. That's 314 or 618-9 all zeros.
'Tis the season for Hardee's handcrafted goodness. Made from scratch buttermilk biscuits pulled fresh from the oven. The return of special traditions like salty sweet candied bacon. And faithful friends like Hardee's cinnamon raisin biscuits gathered near to us and served all day, all season long. From icing drizzled biscuits to savory charbroiled burgers, unwrap the holiday goodness of Hardee's. Find the best deals on the Hardee's app. Items available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
What better way to support your nutrition than with the multivitamin that was created right here in St. Louis? Neovitin Original Multivitamin was created by St. Louis physician Dr. Ribicki to support his own nutrition when he needed it most. Now, Neovitin Original Multivitamin is formulated with sensible doses of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and Dr. Ribicki's proprietary blend to give you nutritional support you won't find anywhere else. Neovitin is now conveniently available through our no-obligation monthly subscription. Cancel or pause at any time, and shipping is free. Support your nutrition with a subscription to Neovitin at neovitin.com today.
Welcome back. You know, we've been following this story, obviously, since it happened, hoping for the best with the situation with Colin Brown. And the young man passed away last week from his injuries from being shot for no reason. I mean, driving down the interstate, minding his own business, coming back with his father from a hockey game, and, you know, somebody decides they're going to hang out irresponsibly hang out the window of a car and fire a shot into oncoming traffic. Just such a tragedy. And, you know, police so far, to the best of my knowledge, don't have the leads it's going to take to find the individual who did this, and anything we can do to help out with that, we're going to. And one person that's put his money where his mouth is my friend Karl Lund, who is a local photographer and runs a cam print and all that good stuff here locally. And Karl, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, my friend. I run into Karl everywhere. You're a big supporter of the USO, of course, and all these veterans organizations. I saw you down at Guns and Hoses last week. And
we flew to D.C. together?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we did, for sure. You know, Karl, thank you for what you've done. I know you've anteed up $10,000 for this reward for any information in this case.
Yeah, you know, it's such a challenging case, and people are motivated by money. And at the time, nobody had any reward offers out there, so I threw one out, and I'm going to stand by it 100%. This family deserves closure. This city deserves one less person or multiple persons off the street. And we need to band together as a community for this family and every other family that's affected by gunfire, and put our money where our mouths are. Hopefully this will motivate somebody to turn somebody in, even if it's the other car that they were shooting at.
Right.
Those people know that they weren't shooting in the direction of the other side of traffic. All they have to do is say, hey, I was in this gun battle. I was trying to shoot this person. It didn't happen. Go get those guys.
I think that's what's so weird about and sad about this whole situation is that there's such little information that's been released. All I've heard so far, unless you know more than I do, is that police think the gunshot came from the opposite side of traffic on I-55. But surely there would have been other people at that time who would have been driving by and seen something.
You know, there's a way to the ballistics as far as forensics. These guys know what they're talking about. So if they have the actual bullet, then they know what direction it came in based on where he was shot on the highway. But I mean, at the same time, we have Spot Shotter in St. Louis, and it tells you within a 5-foot area where a gunshot went off in the city. And apparently, this is just what I heard, so maybe I shouldn't say it, but I'm going to anyway since I brought it up. People aren't using it because there are too many gunshots going off in the city, and there's too many to respond to, so they just disregard it. And I heard that from a police officer.
Wow.
So I could be mistaken. Hopefully I'm not, because I don't want to talk bad about the police. You know how much I love our police officers. My dad was a police officer. I was an MP in the Army. I do everything I can for our first responders, but there's something prohibiting them from spending as much time as they need to on this type of investigation work, especially since we have Spot Shotter.
I know that they were looking for people who might have had cameras on their homes anywhere near that area that would include that chunk of the interstate. And I'm assuming, I heard they had a couple of leads, but to the best of my knowledge, they're no closer today than they were a week ago, correct?
I don't know that, so I can't speak to that. But if that's, it is a very hard incident to investigate. It's going to be a challenge, and people need to put money, because money will motivate somebody to come forward.
I hope so. Now you put up $10,000. Did I understand that somebody else had? There's some other money that's been assembled to like $25,000 total as well. Is your 10 part of that?
No, but it's on top, so it'll be a $35,000 reward.
Wow.
That's the Crime Stoppers. Crime Stoppers has theirs at 25.
Yes.
And those are created by with donors that want to remain anonymous. I would have loved to have done this anonymously because it feels so self-serving, me going and saying, "Hey, I'm doing this. Everybody look at me." But I'm really struggling with that. But also, I want people to understand that we need to step forward.
Yeah.
So this isn't about me. It's just about bringing closure to this family.
I can't imagine anybody would think that, Karl. Anybody that knows you for sure. But thank you for doing that and for drawing attention to this. And we'll all say a prayer that it pays off.
Yeah, appreciate it, brother.
You bet, Karl.
Appreciate
good talk.
everything you do.
Well, thank you for what you do, and thanks for giving me a minute this morning.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Talk to you soon. Appreciate that. Yeah, Karl's a great guy. Every time I go to a veterans event, he's there. He's always volunteering his time at the USO and taking pictures, and he does his one of his big jobs is he does real estate photography. So if you see big listings and stuff on Facebook or wherever it happens to be real estate websites, it may be Karl's photos. So I thank him for what he does. All right, coming up, we'll talk to Taylor Riggs, Fox Business, and ask her a little bit more about this Bitcoin trend of people going to convenience stores and buying crypto and Bitcoin. We'll be back in a minute.
Ever have one of those days where your gut just feels blah?
Ugh, yes.
Occasional bloating or gas could be signs that your gut is out of balance, but Align Probiotic can help. Align 24/7 Digestive Support is a daily use probiotic with a unique strain to help relieve occasional digestive issues. It's the #1 doctor-recommended brand. So when you feel the signs, it's time to try Align. Align Probiotic. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Lots of sunshine on this Wednesday, and the winds have turned to the south. Now, it's chilly out the door, but we are breezy and warmer this afternoon. Pretty close to 50 degrees. That will feel pretty good. Tonight, clear skies, windy and cold. The winds swing to the northwest, a cold front coming down. A couple of snow flurries, but that's about it. 19. Thursday, just plain cold, though lots of sunshine, 28. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
I'm Nicole Murray with Your Money Now. PSQ Holdings saw its shares soar more than 270% amid news that Donald Trump Jr. is joining its board of directors. PSQ, based in West Palm Beach, Florida, operates Public Square, an e-commerce platform that offers a range of consumer goods and services. Tyson Foods has announced it will close the food processing plant in Emporia, Kansas in February of 2025. Over 800 employees of the plant were notified about the closure in a letter. All raw whole milk and cream products produced by Raw Farm LLC that are still on store shelves are being voluntarily recalled following multiple detections of bird flu virus. That's according to California public health officials. Officials have also placed the farm under quarantine and suspended any new distribution of its raw milk, cream, butter, and cheese products produced on or after November 27th. Futures are moderately higher. Yesterday, the Dow Industrials lost 128. That's Your Money Now.
My son loves to fly kites, but my active psoriatic arthritis can sometimes hold me back. Now with Skyrizi to treat my skin and joints, I'm ready to go. Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults, helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi today and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZI to learn more.
Good morning to you. Well, we've got an accident on northbound 270 at Gravois. Looks like on the Cordell and Cordell domestic litigation firm cameras, the right lane is blocked. Traffic, of course, is slowing through there. And then slow pockets between 44 and Ladue Road. Now, we've got a jam on westbound 70 headed for Salisbury. And it looks like crews are heading in the left lane for that. So that's created a jam back into the depressed section. The other serious jam we have is on the Illinois side on westbound 270. Now, MoDOT reporting road work as you approach the Chain of Rocks Bridge. We've got a parking lot jam that goes back through 203. If you are eastbound on 70, look for some volume near 270. Eastbound 64, some moderate volume between it looks like 270 now at Big Bend, and there's some volume westbound on the Poplar Street Bridge. This report is brought to you by GL International Realty. Sell your home with trust, confidence, and written guarantees. Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty is St. Louis's real estate expert. Visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas, 833 at 97.1 FM Talk.
Well, I just visited Victory Men's Health yesterday to get my regular blood draw that they take to make sure that you're on track. I mean, they check all kinds of things for you when they do that. Get a blood panel. The medical doctors and professionals overseeing your care can take a look at that, and they can tell exactly what's going on with you and whether or not they need to adjust your treatment at all. So they can do hormone optimization. They can help you with vitamin deficiencies. They specialize in weight loss. I told you the semaglutide, if you're looking for it, they help both men and women with that at all four of their locations. You can go talk to them about that, and they can help you out. They're even doing a cardiovascular screening right now, which can provide valuable insights into your health, because that's one of the leading killers worldwide right now. So for all of that and more, and just for the fact that they're great people, and I've been going there for 6 years, and I highly recommend them, guys, go to Victory Men's Health, O'Fallon, Illinois, O'Fallon, Missouri, Town and Country, and Sunset Hills, online at victorymenshealth.com.
When the weather is the story is on 97.1 with live local updates and up-to-date forecasts from 97.1 Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray. Your local source for what's important. 97.1 FM Talk.
It's the greatest pop rock of the 60s and 70s. The Happy Together Tour 2025 with the Turtles, Jay and the Americans, Little Anthony, Mark Lindsay, former lead singer of Paul Revere and the Raiders, the Vogues, and the Cowsills. August 21st, the Family Arena. Reserve seats on sale Friday 10 a.m. at the Carroll House Furniture box office located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster.
Clint Black in concert. Clint Black, an incredible night featuring some of his greatest hits. Saturday, April 12th, 7 p.m., the Family Arena. Clint Black in concert. Special guests Ruby Lee and Emily Ann Roberts. On sale Friday, 10 a.m. at the Carroll House Furniture box office located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster. Don't miss Clint Black.
The T.R. Hughes Homes for the Holidays display and inventory sale is going on now through the rest of the year. Hi, I'm Jason Hughes with T.R. Hughes Homes, and we have several quick move homes ready for immediate move-in. Save up to $50,000 on a brand new move-in ready home in one of our 4 beautiful communities. Come see why T.R. Hughes is St. Charles and now Warren County's premier home builder. Move-in ready, up to $50,000 in savings just in time for the holidays. Visit trhughes.com for details. That's trhughes.com.
The Marc Cox Morning Show.
Little update on some breaking news out of New York this morning. The United Healthcare CEO has been fatally killed outside of a Hilton hotel in Midtown Manhattan. And according to this is the New York Post, it's possibly a targeted attack because somebody's reporting that the person that shot him was wearing a mask when they ran up to him and shot him in the chest and then left. Now, they're headquartered at, what do we say, out of Minnesota, Carl?
That's where that's where
yeah, but they were in New York for a stockholder meeting when this happened. So Brian Thompson, age 50, was killed near the hotel entrance at like 6:46. I just wanted to, in case you hadn't heard that yet, that's a developing story this hour out of New York. Let's get to our friend Taylor Riggs of the Fox Business Network. I mean, most people probably don't realize how big of a company United Healthcare is. Carl was telling me, revenue-wise, they're one of the biggest companies in the world, aren't they?
Number 11.
Yes. So this is obviously such a sad story. He was in town for a 2-day investor meeting. We are just hearing now that they've now canceled the investor day, obviously, to deal with this really sad tragedy. United Healthcare Group is sort of the insurance business under United Health. Yes. United Health CEO, as we know, is okay. That is on a big member within the Dow. And so obviously do not want to talk about the stock price in relation to this, but this is sort of how you can think about the business. So he sort of overseed a big portion of the business underneath the umbrella of United Health. Obviously really sad. You know, I don't want to speculate, but when we think about safety and crime in this city, of course, as you mentioned, we are hearing that this was a targeted attack, but we bring this back to the election. This is why people really voted a little bit more red than we thought we would in New York City, because safety is top of mind, no matter where you are. So, you know, again, canceling their investor day and just a really sad story. They're about 5 blocks north of where I am right now.
Wow.
So we got the reports this morning. I was already at work, so I haven't seen the commotion outside. But again, just a sad story overall.
Yeah, and I'm sure one that you guys will be covering throughout the course of the day here. You know, Kim and I, we were talking about Bitcoin earlier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I saw Virgin Voyages is the first cruise line to start accepting that. And I'm just curious if this is what we're going to start seeing. I know other businesses, Starbucks, I'm trying to think of the other companies. Was it Best Buy? Some of them already accept Bitcoin as a form of payment, which I find interesting. Do you think this is going to continue with, or do you think this could, you know, bottom out at some point and basically crash?
So I think that we always talk about how you can't stop progress. I think there is a movement more than just a moment of Bitcoin. And I think the movement is trending more towards, is it a safe haven asset? Is it a diversification away from the dollar? Or is it now a form of payment? And I think more and more people are thinking about this as a form of payment. I know last time I was on with you guys, I was talking about how Pennsylvania introduced legislation where they want to put Bitcoin on their balance sheet. We've talked a lot about companies like MicroStrategy, which is selling stock to buy Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is an asset on their balance sheet. So I think we're seeing more and more of thinking about the utility of Bitcoin, what it is, how we use it. Maybe I'm old school. I'm not quite there yet. I remember, was it a few years ago where the guy bought pizza for a couple thousand Bitcoin, and now that the price of Bitcoin has gone up, maybe you didn't want to waste all that on a couple slices of pizza. So we're not there yet when we think of it as a currency. But look, Miami mayor at one point was taking some of his salary in Bitcoin. El Salvador, we've talked a lot about that. So I think this is a movement. And I don't think we stop it. I just don't know how quickly we're going to see the adoption. But it's sort of encouraging for Bitcoin enthusiasts to see this more and more in the conversation.
Yeah, that's true. We're talking to Taylor Riggs, co-anchor of the Big Money Show on Fox Business. Taylor, I was in the industry briefly, the financial services industry, for a couple years. Help me wrap my brain around this. How can you own Bitcoin if you don't own an entire Bitcoin? Is it like buying mutual fund shares? Is that basically what it is?
Yes. So the awesome thing is they've just come out with Bitcoin ETF.
Okay.
So let's say that you want to buy a share of NVIDIA because that's the hot stock. But NVIDIA is a couple $100, and maybe you don't have that. You can still buy fractional shares. This is sort of the same story with Bitcoin, that now through an ETF, I don't have to actually buy one Bitcoin. I can buy an ETF, and that ETF buys the underlying Bitcoin for you. So it just sort of makes it easier. And then the ETF trades kind of like a stock. You can get in and out of it really quickly. There's liquidity, there's price discovery, but it's easier than going in and having a hard wallet and having to actually buy a Bitcoin.
And I mean, just out of interest, is the ETF doing right now? I guess it's mirroring how well Bitcoin's doing.
Yes. Yeah, there's multiple Bitcoins out there. I think Invesco, BlackRock, all these big companies have launched and gotten approval from the SEC to launch these Bitcoin ETFs. They've done really well. Again, with the price of Bitcoin, because it really does mirror that. Another company we talk a lot about is MicroStrategy, because MicroStrategy owns 1.5% of all Bitcoin outstanding on its balance sheet. Wow. And a plug, we have Michael Saylor, who's the executive chairman of MicroStrategy, on Fox Business later in the 2 o'clock hour. So there's a lot of different ways if you're interested in Bitcoin, but you're afraid to actually buy a physical Bitcoin. There's some other ways that you can play it.
I thought Saylor was the one who was saying he thought it would hit 200,000, which it's about 900, or I'm sorry, it's at about 96,000 right now. I thought I heard a clip saying it'll hit 200,000 and then crash.
We'll have to ask him at 2 o'clock. I think that these are bulls who really believe in it. And again, we can debate the utility of it and what we use it for, but it's hard to argue against the Bitcoin crowd right now when it's up. But again, I understand how people on the other side say, but what is the value? Like, what is, with gold, you have a gold bar.
It's tangible, right? If everything, if hackers, like, just the whole system went down, poof, does all the Bitcoin just disappear? Because you don't have something like gold, to your point, Taylor, where it's a tangible item where if I needed to trade to get food or something for my family, I could give somebody something. You know what I mean? I think that's the scary part for me.
That is the debate.
Yeah.
That is the debate. But we're thinking more in terms of holding a physical $1 bill. Yeah. You kind of just hold it in your bank account. When was the last time you actually held a physical $1 bill? So when we're thinking digital currencies, I think that's the way the youngsters who are growing up with this idea are thinking about it. And they also want a way to be sort of off the grid, away from the Federal Reserve, who feels like they have seen their value of their dollar be devalued by all of these policies, and Bitcoin has not. And so I'm with you. I'm old school, and I always want to be hesitant to make investment recommendations again, because to me, this is still very much a speculative asset, but much speculative now than it was 10 years ago. So it is the hot topic. I think you are right about that.
Wow. Well, I tell you, Taylor, we always appreciate having you on. And I know before we maybe speak next Thursday, is your marathon before next week?
Oh, you are so sweet to remember. It is this Saturday.
Oh,
so
wow.
I would love all of your prayers.
Yeah, good luck, Taylor.
We
You'll
certainly
kill it.
will be thinking about you for sure.
There's a cheering crowd.
Best of luck to you.
Thank you both.
All right, we'll talk to you soon. Taylor Riggs from the Fox Business there, the Big Money Show that's on from noon to 1 Central Daylight Time.
I see value in investing in Bitcoin. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just telling everybody why I have concern about the future of Bitcoin.
And I think she's right. I mean, I think there are maybe it's a younger crowd kind of thing, but right now it's working for them. Let's put it that way. If you were smart enough to buy some at 30,000, guess what? It's at 96 now. Wow, who would have thought? All right, we'll be back right after this break. Stay tuned.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
On the roads this morning, we have had some issues. Let's see. We'll take a look here at the worst of it, which was westbound 270. But it's actually thinning out quite nicely. There's still some volume on westbound 270 around 203. Looks better before you get to Route 3. But earlier we had some road work that really caused a delay through there. Downtown, there was an earlier accident westbound 70 before you got to Salisbury. and that created a jam back across the Stan Musial Veterans Memorial Bridge, just slower than usual through there. Westbound 44 slowing in front of the arch. We've got westbound 64 55 slowing just crossing the Poplar Street Bridge. Westbound 64, that's a slow go. Hampton out through McCausland. Eastbound some volume just east of Lindbergh through Big Bend. Out west we look pretty good. Northbound 270, slow pockets 21 through Manchester. At 55 right now is in pretty good shape down south into downtown. This report brought to you by GHR Contracting. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas, 849 at 97.1 FM Talk.
Not many window companies do egress windows. Those are the ones used in basements or floors with no emergency exit. GHRcontracting.com. We offer same-day install and financing 0% for 18 months, and there's no hassle with price negotiation. Get an upfront quote on the phone. GHRcontracting.com.
You know, real estate is one of those things that if you are a homeowner, you're going to cross at some point because you're going to think it's time to move. But you're always hesitant. Am I doing this at the right time? Am I going to get the most money for my home? One phone number that I'm going to give you can answer all those questions, and that would be to Gloria Liu. 314-325-6888. That gets you over to Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria, one of her team members, would be happy to come out and explain to you what your home is worth, what the market's doing right now at your price point, and then they tell you about the guarantee. Be sure and ask them about the guarantee because Gloria will put in writing an offer for your home that you both agree on. And if your home doesn't sell for at least that, she will buy it from you. So if you're in a situation where you have already found that next home or it's a job transfer and you're having to move out of town, you want to guarantee that your home will sell, Gloria Liu is the person you want to work with. 314-325-6888. We just worked with her on the sale of our home. Couldn't have been happier. She's like a counselor. She kept us calm through the whole thing, and I loved it. So again, 314-325-6888 or GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Hunter Hayden.
You said Punter Hayden was pardoned by President Bo Biden.
Yeah.
Bo Biden.
Actually, wait a second. That is a direct quote from Joe Biden.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
Being first in line can be very important to homeowners. First in line for the plumber, first in line for the HVAC guy, first in line at Banner Construction for new James Hardy fiber cement siding next spring. It may be winter now, but you can be first in line for spring and save before the annual price increases. Banner Construction is a James Hardy and Pella window replacement specialist, and this is the best time to schedule a free in-home consultation with no obligation. Call 314-569-1050 or check out bannerconstruction.com today.
Make holiday magic this year with something beautiful and timeless from Diamonds Direct. A stunning eternity band, a pair of classic diamond stud earrings, something new and eye-catching from a world-class designer. Or maybe you're looking for that perfect engagement ring or a fabulous timepiece. At Diamonds Direct, we have the perfect gifts for the season, starting at around $500. Come and let our experts help you pick out that headliner gift. Or for some fabulous ideas, see the online seasonal gift guide now at DiamondsDirect.com. You can even chat now with a virtual assistant for the ultimate convenience. Whether you connect online or in person, you're guaranteed to get the extraordinary value, ironclad warranties, and white glove service Diamonds Direct is known for. And to help make your purchase even more affordable, we've got special financing so you can spread out your payments. Get directions, details, special showroom hours, and our holiday gift guide now at DiamondsDirect.com. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Is your home ready for the holidays? Beat the holiday rush and call our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. Get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned starting at $129 and take $75 off your air duct cleaning. Book online anytime at ZeroResSTL.com.
Fully awake, never woke. The Marc Cox Morning Show.
Yeah, thank God we have a president-elect who's willing to say it. We've had Americans held hostage since October the 7th, and we've lacked a president that had the testicular fortitude to get our people back This is outrageous that these Americans were taken and murdered, and we've basically stood back and given lip service to both sides, this and that. I want to hear it's wrong, and this is the wages of weakness of a weak president. All those things you just listed, it's because we have a weak America, and now we're going to have a strong America. And I think Donald Trump's going to have far better success. We had world at peace when he was president. We had a peace agreement in the Middle East. But when you take Americans hostage and you murder Americans, you better damn well know the President of the United States is going to do something about it, and we've not known that for 4 years.
Yeah. Thank you, Scott Jennings, who chewed him out. They're all belly aching about Donald Trump getting things done before he's even president. And, with the tariffs, with what he said to Hamas, it's like, what a shock it is for a president of the United States to tell a terrorist organization, because, listen, I lived through this, right? When the Iranian hostages were released the day Ronald Reagan was sworn in, because they knew what was coming when Ronald Reagan became president. They weren't going to get an easy road like they got with Jimmy Carter. They knew what was coming. Now, I don't know if the hostages will be released before Trump becomes president, but what Hamas leadership must know for sure is they're not going to get mollycoddled like they were by Joe Biden.
Sometimes the threat is enough to drive someone to take action, and that's what we need. We need a leader who's going to put America first and who's going to back up his words with actions. And right now you have Joe Biden announcing $1 billion in aid to help African nations rebuild homes hit by natural disasters, completely forgetting about the thousands of people who had their lives destroyed from Milton and Helene.
They're building railroads in Africa with your tax dollars. It's infuriating. Hopefully, when the Doge people get up and running, that'll be one of the things. Like, they shouldn't spend another dollar on a foreign country when we still have homeless veterans in this country. Like, if there's a veteran living on the street, that person should get my money before somebody in Africa.
Right.
And the or another bomb in the Ukraine.
And the illegals who have been put up for free in the Roosevelt Hotel, which is a 4-star hotel in New York City, given food cards for food, money loaded onto debit cards.
Yeah, it's shocking. I can't wait till we start to see some of the other horror stories of wasteful spending coming out of Washington. But January 20th is coming. We're counting down the days. Then there's this bad nightmare the past 4 years will finally be over. Hey, coming up, Brian Kilmeade is going to be on here in a few minutes, and Brian's going to be talking more about this story out of New York. The United Healthcare CEO was apparently, nobody here's used the word assassinated, but he was targeted by a shooter outside of his hotel in New York City. And that is the big breaking news at this hour. I'm sure more details are going to come out. Apparently, the guy got away on a bicycle. So Brian will have more details for you. Stick around after that for the Annie Fry Show. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
Cardinals single game tickets for the 2025 season